Well, good evening, everybody. It's a pleasure to be back. George Morgan here at your service. It's PSGL, it's Wednesday night, it's Spain tonight as well. Lots on the table, lots of battling. The title contest is still alive and kicking. And Jack, it's only taken us 10 rounds. We're on the 11th. It's all to play for.
Boromant goes on the inside and takes the lead on the final lap of the race. Now it's side by side between Boromant and Warner, but Boromant's got the inside.
Here in this phenomenal race, Cameron Dowd looking to take P2 in his very first PSGL F1 PC race. Incredible to say the least. You see that Putin still lead. 1.5 seconds. DRS is the name. Well, hello everybody. Hope you're all keeping well. Welcome back to PSGL. And it's been a long time, hasn't it, since we've been back, certainly in terms of top tier PCF1 action, but we get a little semblance, a little snippet, a little sniff of what it is like once again here just before Christmas as well. A very special event, not just because it's the holiday season, but we're doing this for charity. Your favourite all-star races from F1 Sim Racing, of course formerly known as the F1 Esports Championship, here returning once again to Premier Sim Gaming Leagues. My name is of course George Morgan, your commentator. Alongside me, it's Nathan Richards. Nathan, how are you?
I'm great. It's great to be back here, obviously, for the PCF1 grid, and I think with it being a charity race, it makes it even more special. And also, it's a fun race of the year, which in a way is good, but also it's always sad, isn't it, to end off a year, isn't it, George?
It is, yeah. It is. It's always, never nice to end a year. Certainly, given the trials and tribulations that many have obviously been experiencing. But the great thing is that we get the top tier league racing events here at this very channel, and obviously it's great to be tuned in for you guys as well. This is in fact my last commentary before Christmas. I'd imagine it's yours as well, Nathan. And obviously we've had a grandiose year. This is going to be the end of my third year commentating PSGL, which is absolutely unreal. I can't believe it already, how fast time has flown since season 27, all the way back in the day now. But yes, we're back again. Now, just to take you through what's happening tonight, of course, we've got a one-shot quali scenario with a sprint race and a 50% race as well. This is the driver lineup. We have got Thomas Ronha and Brendan Lee lining up with also the likes of Joni Tormela and Philip Prejneda marking a return here to PSGL action as well. We have got Luke Smith, Ruben Pedreño, Jack West here returning too after winning the PCF2 title. Duncan Hoffland as well, Aston Martin reserve driver, Barry Burremand as well, and Nicholas Longay lining up with Shanaka Clay marking a return in a Haas this time around though. Of course, formerly a Williams driver though, driving a Haas. Dylan Warren lined up alongside him. Lucas Blakely, the current F1 Esports champion. Wilson Hughes alongside him too. Danny Berejnay and Jake Benham, the All-Star, lines up alongside him. Of course, two Mercedes teammates, Josh Edo and Frederick Rasmussen. A late entry for the Red Bull Sim Racing team. Ishmael Fassi and Will Lewis line up alongside him. Now, I know that they're trying to get the track sorted. Apparently, Wilson Hughes is complaining. So, without any further ado, we will move across and start this now. So, here we go. Let's find out what track we're going to be doing here tonight. Here we go. It's Vegas. We're going to Las Vegas, folks. There you have it. That is the decision. We have a winner. We're going to Vegas. I tell you what, no better occasion here for a race such as this here, Nathan.
Yeah, well, I think it's had some little bits of meme, hasn't it, in the past league race, and it's been, I'd say, a skeptical to watch. Everyone loves watching Las Vegas. I think, obviously my time on F2 as well. We've raced there, I think, twice, obviously with the pre-season races, and both times it was absolutely brilliant. So I think this is a perfect way, along with the sprint race and the 50% race, to end off the year with a one-shot quali. Maybe, we could see some more mistakes happening.
Well, I mean, it's a possibility. I mean, obviously, mistakes, are certainly something that can occur at this very track. It's very fast-paced, lots of challenges. Overtakes are going to be plentiful, I would imagine, around this circuit. The strategy essentially plays second fiddle with what happens out on track, because generally there is, moments where carnage can occur. At the same time, the slipstream effect is absolutely mad around this circuit too. I mean, it only takes, just one run in the wheel tracks of another car and it can very easily open up doors for you. So we'll have to wait and see. In terms of the current crop of talents that we do have with us here, Nathan, with obviously the raw talent and ability, who do you see being the main dangers tonight?
I think it's a hard one because this is the type of circuit where everyone can come out on top. I think obviously we're all going to be looking at for like Thomas Ronhaar and Lucas Blakely, some of the obvious answers. But I'm also keen to see what lots of Jack West can do. Obviously, the PCF2 champion last season. Maybe he can try and make some inroads in the grid tonight. I think, yeah, but then again, it's one of those tracks where literally anyone can win. Even from last, you can see someone win.
Yeah, well, here we go. We're going to be waiting now, and certainly the lobby will load. Obviously, if we take a little look back as well, folks, we've got quite a number of top talents. We can actually review the lineup for tonight again. Let's take a little look. Thomas Ronhaar has actually had a bit of a busy day. Struggled getting back home due to the storm conditions that have been delaying transport all across the globe, especially in the Netherlands, where many planes were still stuck on the runway. Brendan Lee will line up alongside him. Of course, that is a very hench lineup. Alfa Romeo. Ronhaar actually in very good form right now, Nathan, considering that he is the only race winner in the F1 sim racing season so far.
Yeah, and I think the win he got obviously back in Bahrain was dominant, wasn't it? No one had any chance of beating him. So obviously with E-Series on Wednesday as well, yet again, pure dominance the whole way. He was quite far back in the train, obviously with that overcut, got about 6 or 7 positions in about 2 laps. It was quite amazing to watch. So if you can do anything like what we saw in the past in this game, I think we're in for a really good show.
Yeah, and also not to mention the various others that are here. We look at Luke Smith. He is someone who is, of course, a champion in F2. Let's see how he can sort of match against some of these best. Barry Burman back as well, PSGL champion in his own right. Remember, he and Thomas Ronhaar who were battling for the title all the way back at Bahrain, and it was Barry who came out on top in that affair, and he's got his old fan favourite and friend Nicolas Longuet as well lined up alongside him. Strong link up at Ferrari yet again.
Yeah, definitely. I think Ferrari, as a team, they always work well together. We've seen them in multiple different leagues, and they always do really well in teams. Even if it's Nicholas and Barry, or if it's maybe someone like Dylan and Camille, they always work well together as a team. But another team I'm kind of keen to see who do well, obviously, along with Jack West, is Duncan Hoffland. Obviously, we know Duncan is an Aston Martin development driver who I think, give it maybe next season, the season after, will probably put himself into esports because he's a brilliant driver. So those two, if they work together, could be quite interesting to see what they can bring out.
Yeah, could well do. I can tell you, folks, that they are joining up in the lobby as well, so we'll keep you posted as to when the race does proceed. Obviously, given the fact that it is Vegas, I would imagine very few drivers have actually practiced this one, so it will be interesting to see and intriguing as to who is going to take top spot. But looking at further down the list, obviously we got Lucas Blakely marking a return. I would say, though, the biggest eyebrow raise of all, I mean, I appreciate that obviously Ismail Fassi, Will Lewis lining up at Williams. Both of them, of course, Williams drivers. Will Lewis, a reserve driver at Williams, with Ismail Fassi making his first F1 sim racing start at Bahrain, and ultimately impressed as well in many ways, given the fact that his qualifying performance was sensational alongside the work that he put in place with Caraton. But Shanaka Clay now in a Haas. Now, what do you think's happened there?
Well, there's not enough space in Williams. I think that's probably one of the obvious answers.
But preferring Will Lewis to Shanaka Clay, of course, we know Clay's history. He's a talent that has been, that's experienced in F1 esports and sim racing as a whole. So it's quite a bold move to put Will Lewis in, who is a reserve. Don't get me wrong, Will Lewis, a grand talent, F2 champion as well. But generally, you play your cards accordingly, don't you? You would expect to see 2 experienced talents. Of course, Fassi, you'd expect him to be in the seat because he has featured for Williams in F1 esports so far this campaign. But Will Lewis over Clay?
Well, we've seen Shanaka driving the Red Bull, I think, on a couple of occasions. So maybe they're like, right, Shanaka can adapt mentally to the different cars, because we know even though the cars themselves are very similar, even some drivers will have some sort of mental challenge being in a different car. So maybe they know he's driven a Red Bull, we'll let him drive the Haas. He knows how to drive a different car maybe compared to Will. Lewis is like, well, if I don't drive the Williams, I'm going.
Yeah,
that could be the conversation between Will and the Williams team. So I don't know. There's many different reasons, but either way, I don't think it should make much of a difference. I think Shanaka anyway should be fighting for a top 10. He's a brilliant driver. It's a shame, isn't it, not to see him driving in the Williams this season in esports.
Yeah, it is a shame. I mean, I'm a big fan of Shanaka Clay, of course, and he is very much a fan favourite. League racer as well, formerly. We don't see him so much these days, but he himself obviously has had his challenges, has had his battles. I remember back at ORL years ago when it would be he and Jana Watmir, as well as Barry Burman as well, fighting it out in league races historically. Of course, many would have remembered him as VSR Infamous, I think, back then at that time. He's got Dylan Warren lining up alongside him. Now, Dylan, arguably in the form of his life right now.
Yeah, definitely. I think Dylan, obviously I've watched him through E-Series. I think he's been there pretty much the whole season, and every single time he's just brilliant to watch. Even if he starts, because obviously he's never really on pole. He's always in that top 5, top 6. But even when he starts further down, he just storms through the field. The racecraft and the race pace, I would say, is probably one of the best on the grid when it comes to race pace, because he can start anywhere on the grid and always produce a really good result, whether that's to do with strategy, pace, anything. He always does a really good job. So I think even if we see Dylan started at the the lower part of the grid, I think we'll still see mate loads of positions, because I think we've seen him in the past. I think there was one race at Bahrain, he started on the hard soft strategy on F122. You never saw the softs make an appearance, and he won on the soft tyres. So even with an unoptimal strategy, he still came out on top. So I think he's yet again a driver we expect to see perform really well tonight.
Yeah, expecting big things from Dylan Warren. Obviously, he's had a good run with PSGL E-Series as well. And like many, obviously, they're big fans of Dylan Warren now. He's starting to build a little bit of a name for himself. And obviously, with the performances at Ferrari, given the pressure cooker scenario they're in right now, of course, historically, they've had a strong time in esports. So, of course, I remember back in 2019 when David Tanitsa would go on to take the title. Great partnership, though, at Mercedes, though, one that's been working quite well lately. Obviously, Jake Benham, now considered the future talent at Mercedes. They've chosen to hold on to him, instead letting Marcel Kiefer go to Williams instead. They stuck with Benham as a reserve driver, but they've still got Danny Berejnay and Jarno Opmeer leading the field. Obviously, with no Jarno, Jake steps in. A solid lineup for Mercedes here.
Indeed, and when I first saw Danny join Mercedes back in wherever it was a few months back, I thought that's a bit of a weird signing, because let's be honest, in 2022 he didn't have the best season for him. It was a bit of a poor one for him, but he's came into Mercedes and it's like it's turned a switch, because he's been so good these past couple of months, and in all the league races and even in esports, he's just been really quick. So I think him and Jake, along with Jarno, they are probably as a team one of the best, because they all work together hand in hand really well all the time. Like we've seen Jake with his defensive strategies all the time. If he needs to come in clutch for Danny and Jarno, he does a brilliant job most of the time. It really works out and actually helps the other teammates to do a really good job. So I think those three as a team, it's a brilliant. I think the team themselves are very happy to have those three driving for them.
Yeah, I think so. I'd agree with that too. I think obviously looking up and down the list, you can look at the Red Bull lineup. Frederick Rasmussen, a late entry with Josh Ito. Now that is a full-on confirmed F1 Esports lineup as well. And you could argue that two of these, 2 or 3 of these teams are actually F1 Esports Championship favourites, and you can firmly place Rasmussen and Ito in that category, because Rasmussen's stellar record, despite never winning a title, he's one of the few drivers that's actually consistently finished in the same place season on season, very rarely outside the top 3, only once in the 4 occasions that he's been competing in this championship in F1 Esports, and now this time around, F1 Sim Racing All-Stars marking a return to PSGL action. We don't see him all the more often. He's a very rare occurrence from time to time. Makes the odd appearance here and there in PSGL F1 competition, but it's always a pleasure to watch him when he does show up.
Yeah, indeed. I think Freddie was only meant to be here. Well, I don't think he was meant to be here originally. He put a message early saying he could drive because someone backed out. So I think it was John Evans. He's a little bit ill, unfortunately. So hope John can get better soon. Yeah, and I think that's why Freddie was in the seat. So it's great to have Freddie back. Obviously, as you said, we don't see him all too often. But when we do see him, he does a brilliant job. I think there was, I think it was a PSGL race a couple of months back where it was him and I think it might have been Josh or Yanni, and they ended up pulling 9 seconds from the field in a Bahrain race, which no one expected to see, considering how close this game has been. I'd say, even after the last game, this game has probably been the closest in a long while. I've seen myself a lot newer to sim racing than others, but since 2021, I think this game has made the closest in the race. And the quality, I think the biggest thing has got to be with the tyres, hasn't it? With the strategies, you can do pretty much any strategy, and most of the time it'll work out as long as it's not something too outlandish. Yeah,
well, we'll have to see what strategy they do opt for. Obviously, like I said, it's a bit of a mystery when it comes to this circuit. I want to look as well at AlphaTauri, because Philip Presneda marking a return to top-end action as well. Joni Tormula alongside him too. Obviously, Tormula has been a mainstay as part of the Red Bull family for quite some time, has also been mixing things up in terms of simulators. He's been racing consistently in the G2 esports team for when they have taken part in ESL R1 competition. Now back, though, in single-seaters with the F1 Esports Series, and, someone who is a steady pair of hands behind the wheel.
Yeah, I think Yanni's, don't get me wrong, he's been here since the start, hasn't he, of esports, or at least near the very start. He's been here a long time, so I think he's got that experience, hasn't he? He knows what he's doing. Even if he might not be the quickest, he still has a way to get out of situations which might not be the best. So as you say, they can rely on him. If they need someone, they can throw Yoni and he can do a decent job. So I think he's a brilliant driver. Obviously, last season didn't have the most luckies, but then again, he didn't drive all the time. If we saw him drive more, maybe we would have seen some more decent results from him. But in league racing as well, he's a little bit like Freddie. We don't always see him pop up in league, so maybe coming on to next year, we'll see him a little bit more.
Yeah, no, absolutely right. Hopefully we do. And, of course, we've got Luke Smith and Ruben Pedreño. Luke Smith, who's obviously a relentlessly quick driver. Ruben Pedreño, one of the new acquisitions at Alpine as well, has also been regularly a competitor in PSGL, PCF1 competition. Of course, it's the best place to get yourself noticed more than anything else. And naturally, this pairing may surprise a few. Few raised eyebrows at Alpine selections heading into the new F1 esports season, but certainly Luke Smith is someone that has competed regularly in top-end competition. Let's head across as well, folks, though, to the track as we now get set ready at Las Vegas. Of course, we're about to get set and started here in this affair. It's going to be certainly very interesting as we now wait for the drivers to make their way out onto the circuits. You can see night sky here at Vegas. The lights all lit up as we look to get started, and very shortly they'll dash into qualifying. No waiting around, only one chance here to dance in amongst this lot now. As we now ride on board here with Ismail Fassi. Right at the top end, though, immediately it is Luke Smith and Jack West who are currently at the head of the fray. Barry Burman now taking that away from them as we speak, as we now wait and see as they now cross over, heading down the next straight. They've got another right-hander to come as well. Quite technical, heading in through towards this part of the circuit. What do they need to be aware of here, Nathan?
I think the braking, it's very easy to lock up, especially towards this chicane here at turn 7, 8, and 9. It's very easy to lock up and go a little bit straight, or even cut the track. As you can see, there is missing a little bit of the apex as he comes through towards turn 7, 8, then back at turn 9, just throw it to the left, misses the apex again. But then again, we're not going to see brilliant laps. None of them are practice track, if maybe a couple of them done a lap or two, but I don't think they would have practiced too much. Thomas Ronhard's currently fighting for pole with Ismail Fassi, who took the fastest second sector. But then again, look at the grid. It's a very mixed-up qualifying so far, with Brendan Lee being down in 17th.
Yeah, big shocks there. Fassi having a real stormer, though, at this stage. Purple first sector with a 43.5. Ronhar immediately back on it, though, of course, making his way down through towards the next left. Jack West not having an easy run either. He's right at the tail of the field. Shanaka Clay also now up into second. Rear wing open here now for Thomas Ronhar as they head down the back straight. They've got a chicane to take as well. This one is so tricky. You get your braking point wrong, you go into the barrier. But Ronhar doing well. But Fassi, I don't think anyone's going to stop him. Could this be pole for Ismail Fassi at this stage? He's going to make his way through towards the final corner. The little kink in a curve. Fassi's on pole with a 1:31.002. That is absolutely sensational. A stellar lap there from the young man who has just joined Williams at probably one of the highest pressure cooker scenarios you could put yourself into. One-shot qualifying going to Ismail Fassi. And he went over nearly 2 tenths quicker than Shanaka Clay in second. Lucas Blakely, the current F1 esports champion, in third. Thomas Ronhar in fourth. Philip Prejnader fifth. Ruben Pedreño sixth. Luke Smith in seventh with Nicholas Longay eighth. We got Barry Burman in ninth. Duncan Hoffland in 10th with Danny Berejne in 11th. We got Dylan Warren in 12th as well with Freddie Rasmussen down in 13th. Jake Benham then in 14th. Wilson Hughes 15th. 16th for Yoni Tormala. Josh Ito in 17th. Brendan Lee 18th, Will Lewis 19th, Jack West down in 20th place. Some big shocks there, Nathan. I've got to say, credit to Ismail Fassi. He's not coming here just to play, he's here to win.
Yeah, that gap was ridiculous. It was 2 tenths to Shanaka in second. It was 3.5 tenths to Lucas Blakely in third. It just seems like this is a track that he's really good at. You know, with it being quite low grip as well, if Ismail likes those sort of conditions, this is absolutely perfect. Whereas many drivers we know don't like the low grip conditions. Ismail, even if he doesn't like them, well, he'll be happy now. He's on pole by 2 tenths of a second. Yeah,
unbelievable. Credit to him. I mean, we were sceptical to a certain degree, but you know, fair play. I've got to give him a sensational amount of credit because it's not easy to come to this scenario, especially at this track, this very circuit that has brought us plenty in terms of sim racing action in leagues where it's been dramatic. As I said, strategy tends to take a back seat invariably at this circuit generally, but still to bring out the big results where you need them the most. Ismail Fassi has just delivered a clinic once again, and someone who, you know, is very much a rising star. A lot of pressure on young shoulders, but he deals with it remarkably as we now go racing here at Vegas. All the cars lined up onto the grid, 5 lights lit, and it's pedal to the metal, and it is go, 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 and they're away in the sprint here. Thomas Ronha arguably getting a decent jump. Fassi though in third, further back then Shanaka Clay in fourth as well. Lucas Blakely dodging and weaving as they make their way through the first sector. Luke Smith further back there. You see Blakely already though, cars shuffling around all over the place. Ronha apparently getting the lead. There are ghosted cars all over the place as well. Not quite sure what's going on. Blue flags being raised. Longue battling here with Pedreño too as they now make their way into the middle sector. I think we might have a lobby problem here, folks, as we now see the cars go wheel to wheel. Ronha, in accordance to what I'm seeing with the ghosts on screen, that timing tower doesn't look correct.
Yeah, for me as well, Ron Hart sitting in third, but he's currently leading the race away, so he's doing a brilliant job to be leading, but being behind 2 cars. So yeah, a little bit of a lobby issue, which isn't great, but it's a sprint race. We don't do them very often, so obviously they don't like us. So I believe there's got to be some sort of issue, because Lucas is in second, but he's on third. He's in third on the graphics. I'm not sure. It's actually Benham's had a bit of a spin as well at the back. Yeah,
no, I think there's definitely a lobby problem. We'll sit tight, folks, whether we get a restart. Obviously, you'll await confirmation. Fassi, though, currently registering on our timing tower in second place. Ronha is actually behind him. Obviously, you look at Ronha up at the top of the screen there on the left on the timing tower. He's not leading, folks, just to clarify. He's down in second. Further back, well, I say second, he's actually third in terms of the cars that are now stringing themselves along. Blakely showing in second on our screen here, as we now see the cars make their way through the final corner to begin in the next lap. Ismail Fassi registering the fastest lap of the race. So 1:37.872. And marshalling in some decent time already. We'll sit tight. Oh dear, Ronha has a faster lap on your screen here, Nathan.
Yeah, yes, a 120-minute lap, I believe that would be.
Wow.
On my screen. He's still leading, but he's in third. I think there's definitely going to be a restart needed, because Lucas Blakely is leading, but he's 15 tenths behind Thomas Ronha. So not sure what Wizard is going on. Jake Benham has been in towards the pit lane for a new set of tyres. Obviously, I believe also a new front, because he had a bit of an incident then at turn number 12. But as well, with a poor start was Freddie Rasmussen down in 17th position, not where we expect to see Freddie at all. Obviously, Brendan Lee as well down in 15th. Wilson Hughes and Josh Eden also not having the best starts. But Dylan Moore and Jack West having a really good start. Jack West from 20th to 12th in just 2 laps. That's 8 positions. Brilliant there from Jack West.
Yeah, I think at this point, folks, we are getting a restart. I think Big C is on it as we speak, so we will be moving on to yet another lobby. So brace yourselves, folks. Bear with us here. Obviously, we have got a restart coming, so do not fear. Of course, we do know what the grid is. We did run through that, so hopefully those guys will be able to put that together. But yes, nevertheless, though, good jump for Fassi. I think we can, take anything out of that. I mean, on my screen, Fassi set the fastest lap of the race, so I'm going to take that as gospel off the back of that. Set a 1:37.872 immediately. Was obviously faster by a couple of tenths to or fro. Obviously you can't really look too much into the opening lap, but I think we can definitely look into quali and again register how great that really was. I mean, Fassi is a true talent. Of course, I witnessed the battle between he and, of course, Will Lewis for the F2 title in PSGL PC F2, and I went into that one believing that Fassi would be the one to win. Will Lewis proved me wrong. He was sensational, Will Lewis, in achieving that, and knows that there's a lot more in his tank as well to be brilliant in the world of F1 esports. But Fassi, for me, since he entered into the LAN event, of course, we've yet to see Will Lewis in LAN event action. Fassi has already done enough, in my view, Nathan, to be a potential future star.
Oh, definitely. I think, from what we saw from him in esports, it was brilliant. It was superb. So I think, considering he has such a good start at the start of the season, going through the season, I think he'll be one of those where Williams will think maybe going into the next season, we might want him as a permanent driver to be there at pretty much every single event, because no matter what, he can work through the situation. He's I think 17, 18 years old. He's on a big stage in front of people, in front of 30, 40,000 fans online on YouTube and Twitch. and it's like the pressure just doesn't get to him in the race. You know, he was fine, he was calm, collected. So I think to be able to deal with that pressure in such a high pressure situation for such a young individual, I think it's perfect. You see some of the drivers that are in their 20s and stuff, and they struggle with the pressure. So to be that young and be able to have such a, I suppose, a mature mindset in that sense, it's brilliant. So I think definitely give it a couple of seasons. I think it'll be one of those drivers where we'll be thinking, right, going into, I don't know, the 2026 season, we expect Ishmael Fassi to be fighting for a championship, because I think he's generally got those genes naturally in him to be just a brilliant racer.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think he will definitely be one to watch in the future. He's got that talent, he's got the raw ability, the pace, you name it, he's full of it. And do you know what? All the power to him. I personally think he can be that guy. I mean, obviously, plenty of other drivers to watch. I mean, I'll give Blakely a hat tip as well. I thought his lap was brilliant. He recovered in the final sector, really, on his qualifying run. It wasn't ideal, really, for Blakely. I mean, he had a bit of a rough ride, I would argue, heading through quali, but managed to fight his way through it. A couple of issues, though, for Jack Weston, and Brendan Lee was one of the main shocks as well, I think, obviously finishing where he did down the bottom of the field. Not something we've come to expect from Brendan, because even though he isn't necessarily in the midst of being champion or anything like that, or certainly anywhere near the form that we knew him as back in 2017 or 18, you know, still we expect him to be in the top 10s. And I think from what we saw from his PSGL performances in Mainstay League racing, I think we kind of expect him to be in that top 10, right?
Yeah, I think definitely. I think easily a top 10.
Yeah. You know, so I think obviously there needs to be some work there. Not quite happy, obviously. I can't imagine he's happy by any means with that qualifying performance, but then the easiest things can go wrong. Then again, we could call it the inconsistency of Vegas, could we not?
Yeah, I think Vegas is one of those, like we said before, anyone can end up anywhere on the grid. Like, for example, Mercedes, 11th and 14th, and that is not where I expect to see Danny or Jake at all, and obviously Jake had that incident as well down at turn 12, so I think, you know, Mercedes, that was pretty much quite a poor qualifying. And then also with Nico and Barry, I think being 8th and 9th for them as a team is also not the best. We expect to see Nico and Barry as a team normally in that top 5, top 6. So for many drivers, it wasn't the best. But then again, they've had no practice. Some of them might not have optimal setups, and you know, many of the factors come into it of why some might not be as quick. And then again, we have possibly some of them building more of a setup towards the race, or maybe doing a bit more in the past, practice only for the race rather than qualifying and pressure. And obviously, with it being one shot, it's always a little bit different, isn't it? Where you're going straight into it. There's no preparation. There's no building up your tyres and going into it. It's just, oh, there we are, we're going.
Yeah, I mean, look, we saw how flowing the circuit really is. I mean, you only have to look at the track maps, long straights, especially in the third sector, where the majority of it is a straight. Coming out of Sector 2 into Sector 3, you've got that one chicane where if you miss your boat, you can collide with the barrier. Yeah. Very, very tricky place to go, Vegas. Very, very awkward. And the middle sector is arguably the most, tricky, well, the trickiest part of it, really, at this stage. I mean, given the fact that we've only got a small, number of corners, and obviously in the sprint race form, when there's only such a little number of laps, you haven't really got a lot of time to really move your way up the field. So, I mean, are we expect, like I said, forget strategy, doesn't exist in sprint racing, but then again, won't exist in feature racing either. So the fact that you've got a scenario where you could find yourself in serious trouble out on track in the initial stint, even before a pit stop, you really do need to apply your trade at the very start. Do you want to say, folks, as well, big thank you to everyone who are tuning in. Let us know where you're watching from as well. And also, don't forget as well, we have got links in the live chat, folks. Make sure you stay tuned in to what we're doing with Mind Charity. Obviously, this race is being dedicated to the charity Mind, which is all around mental health. And given what we've had in the recent years, certainly with the COVID furlough and the lockdown scenario, Mind certainly did play a vital role in obviously helping lots of people around the world in trying to recover from their own issues. And, obviously we appreciate what they're doing, and obviously we're trying to show our gratitude. And also a big thank you to John Evans, who is unfortunately not with us here tonight due to illness. He, of course, putting this event together alongside PSGL as well. So big shout out to him. As you can see, donation link, as Jess Games has so kindly provided. If you want to go and donate, our mission is to get to £1,000. So please help us, donate what you can, and hopefully we can put some smiles on faces this Christmas. But we're about to get into another session. Looks like we're doing another one-shot quali at this stage, Nathan. Oh.
Well, here we are again. Now maybe sort of a little bit further.
Whether they do it, I'm not sure, but I think they're going to, because it's not a custom grid scenario. Looks like we're going to have another qualifying session. So sit tight. Good chance though for Brendan Lee to redeem himself. at this point as we wait the track to obviously sort itself out. Obviously, it's good to be back here with you guys on PSGL. Make sure you hit that subscribe button as well and leave a like. Share your support as well for the channel. As you can see, back here at Vegas, under the floodlights as the timer now ticks down to 0. We're looking forward to this. It is going to be stellar. Who's going to come out on top? Let us know. Give us your predictions in the live chat. Who's taking pole? Will it be Fassi yet again? If he does so, it will be the largest message sent, I would imagine, to every other driver here on this grid. It'd be a huge message here for Ismail Fassi to send. This time around, no such luck. Or will it be P1 coming out of turn 1 here, Nathan?
Yeah, heading down towards so far, he's already at the top spot with Lucas Blakely in second and Josh Eder now having a bit of a reform from his previous lap. He's in, well, he's dropped down to ninth now, but he was in third. And we've got Freddie Rasmussen, Jake and Danny also doing quite hard, but there we are, into the corners, everyone just drops back, and Ismail actually hitting the wall coming through and towards the exit of turn 4, so not the most ideal for there, but he's still on top as they head down in towards the turn 7 and 8 chicane. And yeah, I think yet again he's proven he's got that raw pace around this circuit. He's still on top. He's been on top the whole section since turn 1 as they head down towards turn 10, 11. Duncan Hoffland as well in P4. Brilliant from the young Aston Martin driver, and Josh Edu now in that top 3. So maybe it was a bit of a mistake happened at turn 5 and he's recuperated. A lot of drivers have done that over their laps. Made lots of time between some of the corners where they've lost. So yet again, I think by the time we get to the checkered flag, we could see yet again a very mixed up grid to what it is now. Yeah,
it's a distinct possibility that we could yet see it. Ismail Fassi still in control here, up at the sharp end, looking very dynamic right now. Of course, there's plenty of other drivers on the grid looking to substantiate their claims. Lucas Blakely still now back in front this time around. Tell you what this could be. McLaren with 2 cars up at the sharp end because Wilson Hughes is also flittering around there. Blakely, though, heading up through towards what will be the start-finish line. Can he pit Fassi this time around? The champ is back. It's Blakely who now takes P1 away. Registers a 1:31.875 and ahead there of Ismail Fassi by only a small margin. When I say a small margin, it's quite extravagant, just over 1.5 tenths. But nonetheless, a great display. Lucas Blakely is on pole with Ismail Fassi in second. Danny Berejne now in third as well. Philip Prejnader, welcome back to the top 4. Nicholas Longue fifth with Jake Benham in 6th. Barry Burrowman in 7th. Thomas Ronha in 8th with Wilson Hughes in 9th. Duncan Hoffland in 10th. Brendan Lee this time on the cusp of the top 10. Improved performance this time around. Ruben Pedreño in 12th. Dylan Warren in 13th with Shanaka Clay 14th. Josh Edo in 15th. Luke Smith 16th with Jack West 17th, Will Lewis down in 18th, Joni Tormala in 19th with Freddie Rasmussen further down as well. 20th place for Freddie. He's going to have to go right from the back of the grid. Obviously, someone alluded it into the chat there. Obviously, Jason alluding to the big gaps. There are some quite healthy gaps there. Obviously, I think the one-shot quali is the difference maker in that fact, right?
Yeah, definitely. It's a lot different, is it, to the short or full quality format. I think a lot of it is a mental thing of just going straight into it. There's no preparation, is there, as we said before, so it's just going straight into it. It's about who's got that, instant thing just to turn themselves on quickly.
Yeah, it will be. And who's going to manage their tyres more effectively as well. We're just waiting for the race now to get underway, folks. We're going to bring it all to you as well. Excited here for this one. Take 2, as they say. Obviously, we've just had a false start. Call it a red flag. We'll be right back again now very shortly for the action in this one-off event. And hopefully, it won't be the last here on this game cycle. We would love to see PSGL and top-tier action out. You never know. Maybe if we can persuade Big C enough, we could yet see it return. As we now head to the circuit now this time around, we're back at Vegas with all 5 lights lit. And it's pedal to the metal, and it is go, 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 go. All quiet on the western front as the cars, they make their way in towards turn 1 they go. Bit of a sound glitch here, but we are back to normal. Lucas Blakely leads the way. Fassi just in behind him. No such issue this time around, though. But Danny Berejne under pressure from Prejnader straight away as well. We've got the Ferraris further back. Of course, Nicholas Longue leading that conglomerate with Barry Burrowman and Jake Benham going at it. Further down then, Thomas Ronha on the move, Ronha. And we got a little bit of damage there, flittering around, and a McLaren getting unseated. That's Wilson Hughes. He's in trouble, and I think he sustained wing damage as well, Nathan.
Yeah, it's Thomas Ronha also with some front wing damage on his left end plate. He had a bit of contact there with Jake Benham heading towards turn 5. Lots of people going 2-3 wide into the braking zone, and some people just couldn't get that braking zone just right, and people hitting the back of each other, so not a good start at all for Thomas Ronha, down in 8th, and he's now going to have to suffer with that damage all the way through these next 9 laps. of this race, for a brilliant start by the top two, nearly putting a second running from Danny Bergeret in third, and Philip Prejeter, a brilliant start. And also that's Nicholas Longa getting a bit snappy coming out of turn 12. He's lost, what, 4 positions there, just heading out of the corner, and that is what the issue with this track. Many people can lose positions. Ismail Fassi takes the lead away from Lucas Blakely down towards turn 14, and look at that gap. It's already yet again nearly over a second between Philip Prejeter, so maybe the top two can try and check out as Lucas Blakely takes back the lead, heading down towards this break zone ahead of Ismail Fassi. So these two just seem clear of everyone, as that's Barry Burman fighting with Jake Benham through as someone's gone straight on in towards turn 14.
Yeah, that's the risk we mentioned that could happen. I think it might be Jack West who might have met him. Maybe Will Lewis, not quite sure. Tormala is right to the back as well, but Blakely taking the fastest lap of the race. He leads here at Vegas. Ismail Fassi down in second. Benham as well, fighting it out here with Nicholas Longa as they make their way through the first sector. Everyone on medium tyres, bar the bottom three, that including Jack West, Will Lewis and Yoni Tormala, as they now head down this next straight. They've got a right-hander to come. Once again, Blakely out in front. Fassi all over his rear. Knows he has another chance because there's plenty of straights here. DRS very effective here around this circuit as well when that rolls around. But obviously they have a small window to use it because we've only got 9 laps in this race.
Yeah, and that's why I think we'll see a lot more control at this race, because there's less time to get moves on, so people near the end will make a lot more desperate moves to get through the field, like Dylan, Ruben, Luke, Denny, those low from 13th. They'll be looking to try and push throughout the race to get sort of positions obviously going through. Obviously, the top 8 get points, 1 through to 8, obviously from 8 to first. So you want to be in that top 8 to get yourself some decent points going in towards that 50% race, along with also that good qualifier position. So that's why we'll see people further back trying to do a bit more pushing, as that's Luke Smith having a bit of a fight with Shanaka down for 13th and 14th down for straight line speed. But as we say, setup, I think, I believe that pretty much all of them are on very similar setups. So that's why we're not seeing many moves in the straights, apart from Ishmael Fassi making a move on Lucas Blakely as they head down in towards turn 14. But a lot of people kind of matching the straights, so we're not really seeing that advantage with people going for really, really low terrorist wings.
I tell you what, Fassi's really impressed me. Coming out of the chicane now, they'll make their way through the final corner. Fassi not choosing to make the move just yet, but we'll have a chance. Look at him nearly pushing the Scotsman around, the current F1 Esports champion. And Ismail Fassi looking to take a very big scalp here in this sprint race as they head through turn 1 and turn 2, and then heading through towards the next part of the initial sector. As we're now seeing further back then, Philip Prejeter having a very good race so far, with Danny Bergeret further back in 4th, Thomas Ronhart in 5th too, Luke Smith just managed to unseat Shanaka Clay, but these two are going wheel to wheel right from the get-go here. They'll stay together as now Luke Smith is going to look to try and take him back as they head through the next right-hander, and indeed it is Luke Smith who manages to move on up, and Freddie Rasmussen also smells blood as well. Let's ride on board with Freddie as he now looks to curtsy his way through the next chicane, heading down towards this next semi-straight as well before they venture through towards a kink in the curve. As you can see, back on the power once again. Ismail Fassi up in second, going after Blakely now. Might have another chance here because we got another long straight with a couple of kinks in the course as well. Again, the Williams looking to room up on the McLaren. Of course, 2 constructors that would have met continuously back in the 90s. McLaren being successful in the late 90s into the 2000s, with Williams dominant in the early 90s, right up through to 97, where they would take the big results. And Fassi now taking P1 away from Blakely, with Prejeter now 3rd place, watching it all unfold. Further back, Bergeret. Quite a healthy gap in between he and Prejeter right now, so the top 3 very much in control. A little bit of an error there creeping out of Blakely there. Was that a little twitch I saw as they now venture through this next left-hander to begin? Lap 4 of 9, Fassi on top.
Yeah, and also I noticed Philip used about 70% of his battery already, so he's used a lot just to keep up with this top 3. Danny sitting behind's got about 90%, and then the top 2 also pretty much on full battery. So Philip's in a bit of a... Oh, that's Jack West.
Oh!
He's at a DNF 10 at turn 1.
Safety car!
Safety car!
Safety car has been deployed, getting it wrong. Jack West heading through turn 1. And I tell you what, we'll see him now, because I believe Yoni Tormala, who is stagnant right at the back, he had his own issues earlier on. In fact, he's slowing his car down. And he's actually taken a very different route into the pit lane as well. This could be a retirement here for Yoni Tormala as well. But indeed, Jack West getting it oh so wrong through turn 1. And unfortunately sees him out of the sprint race. So no points will be scored as far as he's concerned. Just a reminder of how the point system is going to work tonight, folks, to obviously decide who will be the champion over the course of the sprint race and the feature race that we've got coming up afterwards. We're going with standardized Formula 1 point systems. For the sprint race, of course, P1 gets 8 points, and then it's all down to P8 where you get one solitary point for that. So it's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, all the way down to P8. And then you have got the race, the feature race, which will use our standardized F1 point system. 25 points for a win, 18 for second, 15 for third, 12 for fourth. You've got 10 for fifth, as well as 8 for sixth. For seventh place, you of course get 6, and then 4 points for eighth. And then in ninth, you get 2, and then 1 for 10. And we're also giving out a point for fastest lap as well. But Ismail Fassi leading the way. I tell you what, he's done brilliantly, hasn't he? I tell you what, a return to top-tier action for Ismail Fassi. The last time he would have raced against this bunch would have been at Sweden, when they went racing in Jönköping at the DreamHack event. And really did represent Williams strongly as well. And it's really set a good standard here as well for Williams, who have always been dynamic, generally had Alvaro Carreton leading them through, and Carreton still there and aiding his team as best he can, but having another fresh face alongside him, someone as exciting as Ismail Fassi, can really speak volumes when you make your way through a championship, Nathan.
Well, this could be interesting. We got 11th down to 19th, all on brand new soft tyres. Everyone was ahead on the 4-lap old medium, so carnage will probably unfold once we get that safety car in, probably, I presume, this lap or next, depending on when we see Joni Tormula catch up to field. But to make his day even worse, he's got a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car. I was on board with him once the safety car came out, and he completely stopped on circuit, but he must have somehow been over his delta, and it gave him the speeding penalty. So he's going to serve a drive-through once the safety car goes in. But yeah, I think Danny Brauchet and Duncan Hoffman could be in a very good position, depending on how much these guys ahead defend and how much battery they're going to use on this initial defence. As actually, Yoni's retired in the pit lane, I believe, so that's going to be his day in the sprint race. Donny will be starting 19th from the main race, obviously alongside Jack West in 20th. But now, I'm very keen to see what these drivers can do, and I've noticed that's Josh Edu overtaking a couple of cars. Let's hope no one gets penalties for accidentally overtaking each other down in that safety car. But Ismail Fassi, George, he's got to get that initial brilliant start, hasn't he? Obviously, coming out of the final couple of corners, you can try and catch Lucas off guard. But then again, we know Lucas, he's good on the restarts. If he also times it right, he can be right on the back of Ismail. So I think the safety car restart will be very interesting. But I'm always keen to see as well what those on the softs can do on that initial start.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how Freddie Rasmussen responds as well. He's got Wilson Hughes behind him. I just want to say, Rasmussen, remember, starting 20th. He's now up into 9th. Obviously, we've got to remember that many of the cars have boxed. Incidentally, of course, we alluded to Joni Tormula coming into the pits to retire. He did 2 stops before coming in to retire. Obviously, everyone from P11 downwards have indeed stopped, bar Jack West, who, of course, retired whilst he was on his initial stint, heading through turn 1, and unfortunately crashed out at that point. Fassi, though, still leads them around under safety car ruling, and this will basically be a sprint race right to the end. So if you stayed out and chose not to box, you're arguably better off here, Nathan, because you know, with a shrunk window to actually get moves done, and with an extended run with the safety car, we might only get 1, maybe 2, maybe if you're lucky. Well, yeah, we'll be 2 laps of racing at this point.
Yeah, so that means there'll be no DRS, so no one can really get an advantage. So it's all down to Ismail now to keep himself, you know, without pressure ahead of Lucas Blake. If he can do that, he's got a very good shot of winning this race. But lots of Danny Brauchet, maybe he can make 2 or 3 positions, but I don't think he'll make enough to even challenge the top 3. There only being 2 laps, so he's got a lot of work to do, and there must be issues somewhere down. As Thomas Ronald keeps having to overtake and stay behind, so people are getting illegal overtakes all over the field down at the bottom of the grid. And Josh, I think at one point he was up in 12th, he's now down to 15th. So issues have happened there under the safety car, but it's normal, isn't it? With safety cars, people tend to sometimes get things a little bit mixed up. But yeah, I think Danny's the only one, along with Duncan, that have really got any opportunity to make some inroads. Everyone else, there's too little time for them to make something work, because when you're going down that back straight, you've not really got, you know, you're not really going to have an advantage even on softs, because those guys ahead will be like, oh, you're catching up, we'll use a bit of battery to keep myself ahead. So the only time you can really get through in the corners, where, well, on this track, we know Russell and Verstappen show that into some of the corners, too wide doesn't really go.
No, it doesn't. You know, definitely through the final chicane, for example, where we saw Joni Tormula make a mistake earlier on. Just want to say a big thank you to everybody for tuning in. Let us know who you think is going to win the sprint race. The safety car is still out on track as we await for it to come in. Still no news from race control as to whether it's going to come in this lap. We could yet see it, though, when we make our way through the next chicane. Race control might let us know. And yes, indeed, the safety car is in this lap. So Fassi is going to back them all up here at this point. Let us know in the live chat, folks. Diego Zorza letting us know that Don Ishmael Fassi, you could yet be right. Grote Steve as well saying Fassi is going to win, mate. Let's find out. Many of you, get involved. Get your comments in the live chat. We want to see it. Let's go racing. Let's restart here at Vegas. Who's going to roll the dice? Is Fassi going to hold on as they make their way through towards the final corner on this next lap? 2 laps of magic to come here in the sprint race for 8 points in this gargantuan fight as Fassi puts pedal to the metal for the second time in this race. Now they head through towards turn 1. Longuet as well, battling it out here with Jake Benham, the all-star, tucking it down the inside this time around as Mercedes and Ferrari come together. The Ferrari Scuderia in red, donning it right now and holds on to P5. Great defense there from Longuet. Dylan Warren also on the tail of Jake Benham.
Yeah, trying to get through out to twitch a little bit to the right then. He hit the wall, did Dylan. He's being set by Brendan Lee in towards turn 5. Brendan there, I think, got a bit of a tap as well to do more as they come through and drops back that position now. But Danny Bareche ran the outside of Freddie Rasmussen in towards the chicane. People locking up everywhere. That's Jake Benham, I think, off the road down at that chicane. So he's also going to lose even more time to the field. And that's also Brendan Lee having a bit of
Clay
out of the session. Oh, what a poor restart of him. And now Dylan Warren holding up Brendan Lee. Danny Bareche looking to get through, but he can't make anything work because that gap is just going up and up and up to Jake Benham in 6th position as they head down towards turn 12. It's going to be Danny Bareche up the inside, 3 wide in towards turn 12.
Oh, no!
Dylan Warren round. Oh, what a shame for Dylan Warren.
Yeah, Dylan Warren round. He was collateral damage off the back of that one, but now once again we see a fight up with the top 3. We got Fassi, who leads now. Here comes Lucas Blakely, who's going to look to go wheel to wheel as they make their way in towards the next chicane before they venture on another straight to begin the penultimate lap of the race. It is at this point now Blakely who takes the lead here at Las Vegas. Fassi now further back. Prejnader watching it all unfold as they now whip through the final corner before they begin lap 8 of 9. As they do, it's Blakely out in front. Fassi now looking to pounce back immediately up into P1, but he can't. Remains in second out of turn 1. It's going to get spicy. The battle for 8 points is on.
It is, and Phillips sitting behind it. I think he just went for something to happen ahead. Maybe one of them makes some mistakes. He can get a move through. He's not really that keen on making a move on the top, so as we can see further back, Luke Smith also making his way ahead of Freddie Rasmussen, who also had a bit of a poor restart. Obviously, with those guys on the top being a lot quicker, he's just completely been eaten up by the pack. We can see Virginia getting quickly as Brendan Lee out down to P10 as Luke Smith makes a move ahead of the Alpha. They still go side by side in towards turn 7, 8, and 9 as they head in towards 3 wide. That's going to be to look for a hold the inside, but a contact between them all. They go nearly 5 wide in towards turn number 9. It's 1/2 through the middle as they all come through. It's an Alpine and Alfa Romeo sandwich out of turn 9. Then towards turn 10.
Ronald's round.
Collected Ronha into the wall. He's got himself with the reset to track. He's got himself back on the road, but he's now down to 6th and he's got a 3-second gap to the top 15. It's also gone quite poor for him, but it's a sprint race. It's soft versus mediums on 2 laps to go. Why wouldn't it be carnage?
Well, I can tell you, Josh Ito's got no front wing left whatsoever. He has literally lost all downforce up at the front. And once again, it's Luke Smith and Brendan Lee who are currently manacled together as they were earlier on, with 3 cars dueling it out together for battles as well further back, as we're now seeing another 3 wide scenario as Will Lewis looks to stick his nose into the fight as well. Brendan Lee down the inside into the chicane. He manages to take it as the 2-time esports champion, but now collected 2 cars, and Will Lewis and Luke Smith have been uprighted, DRS enabled for this final lap here, Nathan.
Yeah, and indeed it towards turns 1, 2 and 3. Look at the top 4. Barry Ross and Matt of Philip Pressman coming through. Trying to make a way through on the Avatar. They've all got quite low battery actually, apart from, well, so I think it's Presshader who's on over 60%, but they all fly down towards turn number 5 and they have got DRS. So now this could be perfect for Ishmael Fassi and even Philip Presshader if they get the good run out of turns 12 down towards, obviously, through the Las Vegas Boulevard in towards turn 16. This could be great for Ishmael and Philip, and for Lucas Blakely, he should be quite worried because he's going to have a lot of compromisation heading down these back roads with no DRS at all.
No, not at all. Now here on lap 9 of 9, Lucas Blakely is effectively, at this point, a sitting duck. Fassi is waiting for the opportune moment to strike, knows that he will have the drag, the slipstream, heading down the long back straight as they make their way through towards the next left and soon to be semi-right as well, as they now whip on through. It is still at this stage Blakely who leads, but for how much longer, as they've only got a small number of corners remaining and 2 straights to get the job done. As now Fassi with the rear wing open looks to try and strike here on the Scotsman, the man who took on and, well, took down the best in order to lay claim to an F1 Esports title. Fassi, the young pretender, the newbie here in F1 Esports, and here in top tier competition in PSGL. He has just taken the lead of the race now with lap 9 of 9. Final lap conditions. The Williams, though, will scream and shout as it makes its way through the final corner. The sprint race erupts with Ismail Fassi, who takes victory and 8 points as well. In the meantime, he made a statement in our first qualifying session. He may have lost out the second time, but he did not miss in the sprint race. It's Ismail Fassi. He's just too fasty. He wins this time here at Vegas.
Brilliant. A brilliant performance from Ismail Fassi. Obviously got pole in the first qualifying, second one he got second. But in the sprint race, he took that first position, and it was great. Was it on that last lap? He knew he's got DRS. There's no pressure on him at all, as long as he keeps it safe and calm through those first couple of sectors. And we can see as well, he took that victory. 8 points on the board for the Spanish Williams driver. Lucas Blakely finishing in second, ahead of Philip Prishneder and the 2 Ferraris, Barry and Nicholas, in the top 5. Then we had Duncan Hoffman, brilliant for him to take 3 points home for the Aston Martin team, with the 2 Mercedes finishing in the top 8. Jake Benham and Daniel Brescia, with Freddie Rasmussen just missing out on a point ahead of Brendan Lee in the top 10. Then we had Ruben Pedronio, Wilson Hughes, Josh Edu, Thomas Ronhar, Dylan Warren, Luke Smith, Will Lewis, Shanaka Clay, and then we had Johnny Tallman and Jack West out of the race. But it was a very, very interesting sprint race, wasn't it, George? I think going into the main race, it might not be as chaotic.
Well, I think driving standards need to have a serious look at that. I think. I mean, outrageous. I mean, the thing is, we've had that in the space of 9 laps. I mean, what are we going to get in the feature race when, of course, we have quite a number of laps at our disposal here? It's going to be chaotic, folks. I mean, obviously, what can we expect now? We've just witnessed a mad sprint race, Nathan. I mean, what can we look at now here in terms of the feature race?
Well, lap 1 probably going to be more chaos, but I think once it settles down, it's going to be down to strategy and just pure. I think IQ is one in the race of where you want to be behind or ahead going into towards those long straight line corners.
Yeah, well, let's wait and see. Obviously, we witnessed a few moments heading through the start of the sprint race. The drivers trying to keep it clean, but it wasn't necessarily clean. Obviously, congratulations to those of you who picked Ishmael. I mean, it was a great performance from the youngster, and he was just primed. He was in the right position, wasn't he, heading into the final lap, Nathan?
Yeah, I think at that point, nothing was stopping him. He had that DRS. Lucas, there's nothing he can do to defend it because it's just overpowered down that back straight. I think it needs to be a little bit nerfed, personally, because when you're behind, you can be 8/10 back and you can still get ahead. Philip Pressure was 1.1 seconds behind Lucas Blakely. He was a 10.5 back in towards the chicane. He gained a second, then 1 back straight. Yeah,
I mean, we're currently seeing as well in the live chat, as Lawrence is saying, I think you're still cleaner than me. Yeah, it's definitely cleaner than your races, Otis. I'll have to say, I've seen some of your work. Qatar. Obviously, I mean, it is outrageous. But yes, here we go, folks. We've got the feature race now to bring you. Here we go. All 5 lights lit. And it's pedal to the metal, and it is go, 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 and it's Ismail Fassi who leads the way. Lucas Blakely looking now to take the lead away from him immediately, heading through turn 1, as well in behind Presney, watching it all unfold. Burman in 4th, Longay in 5th, Ferrari in tandem with Benham in 6th, Hoffland in 7th as well, with Freddie Rasmussen off the back of a stellar sprint race drive. Despite not having the softs, he brought the mediums home as Jake Benham now looks to try and streak ahead. Here comes Presney round the outside, heading through towards the next right. AlphaTauri to Williams, a navy blue against a royal blue, and it's the AlphaTauri that's the Alpha car in that fight, with Barry Burman now sending it for 3rd place.
Yeah, and it's a hard tie strategy there for Ismail Fassi, all those from 1st to 5th on the soft. So that's why he's been dunked literally on that start. Jake Benham just getting past him in towards turn 9. Ismail's going to try and fight it around the outside at turns 10 and 11 in towards that next braking zone. But it will be Jake up the inside. Nothing really that Ismail can do unless he sends a late set, which he won't do. He's going to be a little bit more clever as they head in towards there. And obviously those hards, they're not going to work at the start, but we'll see what that strategy does for Ismail Fassi. We also see Nicholas Longay and Duncan Hoffman on the hard, with Ruben Virginia on the socks. He's looking to gain in to get some moves ahead of Duncan and Nicholas as they head down to the outside. Goes Ruben Virginia. He makes a move for P7 in this race. He's look at all that battery using. He's got 50% already. He's going to go back to the inside of Nicholas Longay in towards the next braking zone. And he's also going to try and get ahead of Ismail Fassi. Late centre the inside, and Pedronio 3 moves in just 1 back straight. Brilliant there from the Alpine driver, and Ismail was looking for a throw it back, but hit the wall. Now Nicholas Longe looking to try and get ahead of the inside at the final corner. Can he make a move? No, he can't. They're going to go side by side. Ishmael Fassi to the outside. Nicholas Longe to the inside in towards turn 1. They go 3 wide, and Ruben keeps himself ahead.
Yeah, big battle there brewing between them. Pedal down certainly for Ruben Pedreño, who moves his way up into 5th. A stellar showing. Fassi getting eaten up by a series of cars that are donning the soft tyres for the initial stint. Longe down in 6th now, leading the hard tyre crew. As further back, Duncan Hoffland brings himself into the mix as well. It's been stellar, certainly, as we've seen this race carry out. Of course, Pedreño making the moves, the most moves of anybody. He started 11th. He's now up into 5th.
Yeah, brilliant start from Pedreño. We used all that battery, but it's got in key positions. He's not stuck behind the hard ones. He can get himself into that 1 second train of those on the soft and try and pull away from Nicholas, Ishmael and Duncan on the hards. All those behind, like Wilson Hughes and Dylan Moran, they're in a bit of a, between a rock and a hard place, being stuck behind. So many hard runners at this point as they head down towards turn 12. You can see Wilson looking for a bit of a late send. He went for it, backed out, went for it, and in the end, Duncan did keep himself just ahead and nearly colliding with the wall. Was Duncan Hoffland heading in towards that braking zone. And look at that gap now. It's 1.4 seconds between Longe and Ruben Pedreño, which a lap ago was Ruben behind. So it just shows those softs at the start have had such a dart off the line. As you can see, Wilson Hughes getting himself ahead of Duncan Hoffland. Brendan Lee actually making an overtake on Luke Smith as well, a hard runner on a soft runner in towards the next break. So you can also see Dylan Warren ahead of Freddie Rasmussen. Pop himself into that top 10. Will Smith nearly caught him with a wall in towards the breaking zone. Brendan Lee still keeping himself ahead on the hard tyres. Brilliant job from Brendan Lee. There's actually Danny Brownshade looking for a move as well ahead of Luke Smith. Even on these soft tyres, Luke's just not really going anywhere, is he? To the inside, they got a bit of contact between Danny and Luke in towards turn 1. It will be down to the inside. Luke can break later with those softs. They go in towards turn 1 a little bit deep for Danny and Luke. And who's going to keep themselves ahead? It'll be Luke to the inside in towards turns 3 and 4. And it will be Luke, I think, gets that position ahead. Yes, he does. Danny just hasn't got it around the outside. And Luke, they're making a move into 13th. But the top 5 haven't really made moves, are they? They're in that 0th train. I think they're not scared, but they're a bit sceptical, aren't they? Making a bit of a silly send.
Well, I tell you who isn't scared of making sends is Will Lewis, who has just managed to get himself ahead now. Danny Berejnay, and I tell you what, he might not be alone because Josh Edo as well looking to make similar moves as well. Can't quite find it as now we see the cars make their way through the next slalom before they then venture through towards the final 2 straights on the lap. Of course, this very technical Sector 2 section, that is where all the tyres are going to be burnt up as they make their way through towards the next right-hander now before they begin their descent down the straight. Further up, Ishmael Fassi looking like he's managed to cool himself down just a little bit. He has got Nicholas Longe ahead of him here. These two, of course, donning those hard tyres. Wilson Hughes then further back, gaining ground all the time as we see Prejnader now going for the lead of the race here at the expense of Lucas Blakely. And I tell you what, Burmand, Blakely's former teammate from last season, those two, of course, winning the Constructors' title in F1 Esports. Blakely losing out on 2 places, down 1 solitary straight with Prejnader now leading right to the top. And now Burman fighting to break the toe from Blakely in behind.
Yeah, they head then towards turn 1 and Lucas Blakely to the outside. I don't think he's going to get much of a run. Is he to make a move? No, he backs out in towards turn 1. He's not keen to make a move ahead of Barry at these points. You can see further ahead, that's Dylan Warren ahead of Duncan Hoffland. Duncan's going to send it back up the inside into turn 1 on those hards. Not going to have as much grip. He's going to have to go around the outside at turn 4. Even less grip on that line. Dylan keeps himself ahead, does get himself ahead, but a bit of a switch back from Hoffland down towards turn 5. Who's going to be in a better situation? I think it will be Duncan Hoffland, but no, Dylan gets a better one. He's using a bit of battery in towards turn 5 and keeps himself ahead, but back at the front yet again we can see. Oh, that's a spin. That's Ruben Pedreño out of the race.
Pedreño's out. Pedreño is out, unfortunately, so we're down to 19. The big question, though, a safety car has been deployed. Safety car has been deployed. And unfortunately now we're under full course yellow conditions. Philip Prejnader now will take them through out in front. Drama here already on lap 4. But I tell you what a start. Prejnader, where's this pace coming from, Philip Prejnader? Of course, someone who hasn't been seen in F1 Esports for quite some time. I remember when he was driving for Ferrari in the championship only a matter of seasons ago. And now he's back here in top-tier league action. We may as well call it top tier. I know it's a charity event, but still, these drivers baying for blood, looking for the top results, folks. Prejnader has come here to race. Barry Burman as well has had a great start. He started 4th. He's now 2nd. And I want to give credit as well to Jake Benham, the all-star as well, who's been right in the thick of it. Started 7th place and now up into 4th, Nathan.
Yeah, brilliant start for many drivers on the grid. Jake, yet again, like what Ruben had, a brilliant get off the line and just got a few ahead of a few of the hard runners. But I'm keen to see what happened to Ruben. It must have been contact with someone surely, but we'll see. These soft runners come into the pit lane. So Philip and Barry say Lucas and Jake are going to come into the pits along with Ishmael. Ishmael Fast are going to come into the pits very early off of those hard competitive tyres. Wilson Hughes following suit. So a few drivers pitting, a few staying out. This could create for a very interesting strategy going through. Surely they can't do 20 laps on medium tyres.
Well, I can tell you this now. In comes Fassi. Let's take a look at what they decide to do. Remember, Fassi did the opening stint on the hards. He's now swapping onto a set of medium tyres. So he's going to try and take those long. Can they last that long, Nathan?
I don't know. I would imagine not, because that's quite a long way to take tyres. But then you think, then again, they might try and make the way.
Maybe another safety car.
Yeah. Or just go for a two-stop strategy, possibly. But those are the stops they've got to pit again. Softs will definitely not make 20 laps.
No, I was going to say, it's a real...
Possibly.
I mean, listen, I'm looking at some of these drivers now. Obviously, Prejnator could have come in and changed his soft tyres. I mean, you would have expected him to do that. I mean, I'm very baffled at the decision-making from those that started on the hards. I mean, why on earth come in at this point? I don't think it's the right time to be doing that, Nathan.
Well, I suppose they just want to try something different. If it works, they'll look like a mastermind. If not, then they'll probably just want to shut this race under the rug. But maybe it could work for Ishmael Fassi. If he can try and work his way through the field, get himself up into around that 5th position again, he could then pit with the others and kind of blend into that strategy and kind of adopt a one-stop strategy, but obviously making a pit stop beforehand in this safety car. So if he can work his way through, that could be the right way for him. Obviously, those on the soft, Dylan, Luke, and Ron Hart, they need to pit again. They're not going to do 20 laps on the soft. The hards.
I just want to point out here, Jake Benham, right, remember where he was? 4th place he was coming into the pits. He's technically net leader of this race because he is leading all those that have stopped here in this race so far. Blakely is in behind him now. Fresh hards for Jake Benham, who can take those to the end. I tell you what, one man who could yet take this home all the way is young Jake Benham, the All-Star. It's a great chance he can do this. Let's wait and see. I mean, looking at it on paper, he started on the softs. He's now on the hards. Blakely also doing the same softs to hard strategy after that initial stint. Obviously, Jake has done the donkey work. Jack West coming in at a very strange time. He's choosing to box the lap after. Very interesting. Let's keep our eyes on what he decides to do. It's bound to be mediums, isn't it? Yes. Medium tyres going on the car of Jack West. Again, is that someone who would have benefited off the back of staying out here, Nathan?
Well, considering he didn't start the highest, I think it probably would have worked if he did, but he's obviously thinking those mediums will go a little bit longer. Thomas Ronhar also going back into the pits for a set of medium tyres, so he wants to take those possibly to the end of this race, but we know Ronhar, he loves a bit of a different strategy sometimes, so we'll see what his choice will be there, but he's going to be right at the back of the grid. He's going to have a lot of work to do on those medium tyres with people on the soft right ahead and also people on the same tyres also just ahead. But I think Barry and Philip, they need to get a good start. I think that's their main course. Maybe Nicholas can work together and hold the hard runners up. But if Philip and Barry don't get a good start, that could be that strategy kind of ripped away because they will be eaten up by these hard runners. Because to give it off, say, 2 laps time, those softs will probably have their drop off. And then it's like, yeah, you're just going to drop through the field. The hards will be quicker. So they've got to get an initial good start. Obviously, with being under the safety car, they've probably got themselves a bit less wear. Obviously, going a little bit slower and not having to burn tyres. So they've got a bit more leeway, but I don't think it's going to be that much. So I'm keen still on seeing what those in the top 10 can do, like Jake and Lucas a little bit further back. They're going to have to, I'd say as well, try and play a little bit more conservatively. Don't send stupid moves, because we know you're quicker. But if you send a silly move, that could be you out of the race. So if they just take it a bit more calmer and get a move when it's there, not more than trying to create the move, I think they're going to be in a pretty much of a better situation because I know those ahead are going to pit, so they're going to be 20 seconds behind when they pit anyway.
Well, I would argue that the man who's currently in the best place at this stage is Jake Benham. I'm telling you now, if there's one man who should be grinning from ear to ear, it's Jake Benham. Safety car confirmed in this lap, everybody. So after the small match of the next chicane and a long straight, we will be back under action. So make sure you put your predictions in the live chat. Do you think it's Jake Benham's race to win now that he is now effectively on what is the highest car that has stopped already and on hards that will no doubt, I'm sure, take him to the end of the race? Let us know. I can see already Groat Steve saying, please let Duncan win. Well, he's got a great chance. I mean, he's right in the thick of it, but he's still yet to box. That is going to be sat right in his way. Let's get ready to get racing once again. Leading the way, Philip Prejnator as they put pedal to the metal here for the second time in this race. Once again now, Barry Burraman this time also looking to challenge. Can't quite find it. Duncan Hofland as well in 4th place. He looks to try and move his way up. He's got Rasmussen hunting him down as well. Shanaka Clay down in 7th place in the Haas. He looks to gun down upon Brendan Lee. Further down as well, Jake Benham, who is right in the mixer. We got Ismail Fassi looking to go toe for toe here with Lucas Blakely. These two just can't leave each other alone here as they head down now. Wheel to wheel they remain. Blakely trying to challenge here for the net race lead away from young Jake Benham, who is being pepperized and punctured from the rear by both the McLaren and the Williams. Fassi taking the long way round. Oh, Fassi absolutely brilliant as he looks to try and muscle his way past Lucas Blakely. These two remaining wheel to wheel as they head down the next segment of slalom sections.
Yeah, and we can see Dylan Warren also looking to gain in as well to get himself ahead of Blakely as Ishmael has got that move done down towards turn 11. Perfect there from Ishmael Fassi, and now we can see more people come together in towards turn 12, and there's contact with Dylan Warren. I think it was Luke Smith heading in towards that break zone. Not ideal for the two of those as they head down towards turn 14 again, back to the lead. We can see Barry Brumran gaining on the back of Philip Pressure, and will he make a move for that lead spot as they move to the inside? And no, he stays behind, but this is allowing Nicholas Long to gain in, but we know Barry and Nico are probably working together in this race as they head down towards turn 14, so no moves being made for even in the top 5 in this race, but we know the Hards are starting to gain him back down to P10. Now we can see Jake Benham having a fight with Ishmael Fassi, who gets himself into the top 10. The net race lead for Ishmael Fassi as they head down towards turn 1. Blakely also getting in along with Dylan Warren. To the outside goes the Haas. Can he get them moving towards turn 1? Jake's going to be a bit of a blockade to Dylan in towards that first corner. He's had to go the long way round in towards turn 1. It hasn't quite worked out. Luke Smith now back to the outside of Warren as they head through, and a better exit from Luke Smith gets himself ahead of Warren as they head down towards turn 5. But there's moves being made absolutely everywhere. So we've got Ishmael Fassi making a move on Joni Tormala.
Yeah, Ishmael Fassi now down the inside there of Joni Tormala. Smoothly does it now on the medium tyres, and they are prosperous for him. He's up into 9th, top 10 now for Fassi as he now makes his way through the next left. He's going to hunt down now after Josh Edo, who has also got Shanaka Clay in front of him. Fassi knocking him down pin by pin here. He is one giant bowling ball. He peruses on through past Josh Edo in absolutely exuberant fashion and now sees himself up into 8th. He may be on the better tyres, at least for now, but he's making them work, and Edo has just been knocked down in the face of Ishmael Fassi, this youngster who has brought himself to the forefront, challenging the very best in F1 esports, and now here in PSGL. It may be a charity event, but this is all about egos. It's all about winning, and that's exactly what Fassi is here to do.
Indeed, and he was in 6th before he made that pit stop. He's now in 8th, so just behind where he was before. He could look to be putting himself into that top 4, top 3 by the time those other people make a pit stop. So he could be potentially in a better position than he was before, even if he has to pit again. So this could be a mastermind strategy from the young Williams driver and the team over at Williams here tonight as they head down towards turn 1, or we would say the final corner yet again. Ishmael's getting in quickly on the back of the Haas of Shanaka Clay. DRS has been enabled, so down towards turn 5, they'll get a dose of DRS, and Ishmael to the outside, and he collecting the Haas in towards turn 1. He has to hang it all the way around the outside with better grip. He gets the inside towards turn 4. Can he make the move ahead of the Haas so they go around, and Shanaka's going to have worse grip on the exit of turn 4. And Ishmael Fassi into the top 7. Brilliant move there from Ishmael Fassi, but we can still see Shanaka's going to try and get him, but it's not off his back to the front. We saw Barry Borman look for a bit of a look on Philip Pressure, but yet again not close to make an overtake. And the issue that Ishmael could have is maybe Nicholas Long is going to try and defend heavily to the Williams.
I'm going to need a thesaurus. Someone buy me one for Christmas. Ishmael Fassi is using every word in the dictionary. I tell you what, a stellar showing here as once again he starts to trial and error his way past Brendan Lee, of course a 2-time champion. I mean, what a name this would be to take. He's already managed to dispose of one Lucas Blakely. Why not another champion as he now makes his way through towards the next left-hander out of the slalom in Sector 2. Very soon he'll be at Sector 3, but first of all he's got a semi-straight to take. Prejnader still out in front with Burman hunting him down too. But what a display here from the young man in the Williams. He's now sandwiched between the Haas, though, of Shanaka Clay. He's going to look to try and challenge him. Defensive driving here from Fassi, who tries to shut the door immediately, trying to use Brendan Lee as a little bit of a barrier as well, as we're seeing the two Ferraris take a 1-2 here at this point with Duncan Hofland running the mix as well. So Prejnader losing 3 places down the space of one solitary straight.
Yeah, and Duncan Hofland as well in the top 3, doing a perfect job here for the Aston Martin as they head down towards turn 1. And actually, we can see Nico being let through by Barry Burman in towards that first corner. Shanaka Clay gets himself ahead of Ishmael Fassi in towards turn 1. Fassi back to the outside, trying to get himself back ahead of the Haas as they go around. You can see Shaka pushing Ishmael all the way nearly off the circuit, and Ishmael getting a bit snappy on the curbs as they come through, and a poor exit there out of that first one gives Josh Eder a chance down towards turn 5. Can he get himself ahead? No, he can't, but he will gain in as we got now Freddie Rasmussen looking to get ahead of Philip Presco to Philip on those 9-lap-old softs. They are dead. There's nothing he can do in this situation as Freddie Rasmussen up in towards P4. Brilliant move from the Red Bull drivers. They heading towards the next braking zone, and we can see there now, these softs, they're dead. Barry and Philip will need to pit soon, I'd think, off these tyres up to a set of mediums possibly to carry those to the end. As we can see now, Nicholas Longe is also leaving his teammate behind. That gap's 5/10 out of a couple of corners. And, well, there's nothing they can do. Duncan Hoffman going to look to try and get in. Maybe he can try and put himself into that lead down towards turn 14. He's got a good run in towards turn 12. He has a bit of a slide, but he gets a decent exit ahead of behind Barry Burman down towards turn number 14. You've got a bit of battery to use, but both Barry has as well, so we'll see who can get a move. But yeah, again, at this point, anyone's taking positions as they can with this long straight.
Yeah, anyone's race at this point. Still no one has taken away the fastest lap from Ruben Pedreño. We got a huge mishmash further down as well in 13th place. Look at it as well, the battle at the front end. Longe leads this time. Barry Burman swapping over, remember, down the long straight, heading in towards turn 1. Duncan Hoffman saw it all unfold. And I tell you what, credit to Freddie Rasmussen, who's put in a set. We got a yellow flag as well. Now, I'm not sure what that's regarding. Luke Smith is towards the rear. I'm not sure whether it was him, but now Brendan Lee moves up into 5th as well. Now the pit stop phase unfolding. Prejnader is in. Prejnader in to swap off those soft tyres. Let's see what he puts on. I can only imagine it will be the mediums as we now see them make their way through towards turn 3. And we can now see the Longe still very much in charge. Brendan Lee there in 5th as well. Ishmael Fassi right on the tail as well as Shanaka Clay. That battle is going to reignite as well. Further down, Jake Benham is now going to challenge Lucas Blakely as well. 2 Mercedes cemented together. Berejnay as well now trying to crawl his way through. Trying to join his Mercedes teammates as wheel to wheel. Go Blakely and Berejnay, 2 veterans of F1 Esports, and Berejnay bringing along Thomas Rodnar as well, the Dutchman and the Hungarian, looking to strike against the Scotsman, and yes, it's Berejnay. He takes P11 away.
Brilliant move. We can see as well Ron Hart getting in along with Jack West as well in towards turn 12. Will we see any moves here? Jack West possibly to the outside of Ron Hart, but had to back out. They're all having to back out in towards turn 12. They know too wide doesn't go in that corner. Otherwise, I'm sure we'd see lots more overtakes. But now we've got Shanaka Clay right on the back, pushing Brendan Lee down this back straight along with Ishmael Fassi. Josh Eder as Barry Burman takes the lead away from his teammate down towards turn 14. But look at this, Shanaka Clay looking from it ahead of Brendan Lee. They go to the outside. They have to back out. Ishmael Fassi to the inside line. Can he get 1? Can he get 2? He collects Brendan Lee. They make contact. Shanaka Clay back up the inside.
No!
The contact and it's Ishmael Fassi's a land. Shanaka Clay, they get collected. And then that's Johnny Tormiller, Jake Benham, Danny Berejnay and Lucas Blakely all through. And that was a big fuss down towards the final chicane as well. Ishmael Fassi down to 13, has a pit stop as well.
Yeah, comes in. He's lost the entirety of his front wing. So already now Mercedes have benefited massively off the back of this now. And 4 cars venture into the pits. A massive shame to see Ishmael lose out like that. He's been certainly one of the shining stars of the race so far. And what could have been for the young man too. But the problem is now for Jake Benham, whilst obviously he is on a strategy that will work for him here, there's a little bit of a gap to Brendan Lee. But we've also got to remember Barry Burman, Longe, Hoffland, not to mention Rasmussen. Further down as well, Brendan Lee haven't yet boxed. They've still got to pit. So it's now advantage Jake Benham here at this point. And also Danny Berejnay, who has come out of nowhere. This has worked beautifully for Mercedes right now.
Yeah, they're looking at a 1-2. They're doing a brilliant job. They can once again defend to Lucas Blakely down towards these long breaks. As we can see as well, Ron Hart looking to gain in on the back of Jack West, who's also in a really good position, isn't he? In the Aston Martin, didn't have the best start, but he's got that pit stop done early under the safety car, and it's worked very well. He's going to be looking to gain on Lucas Blakely down towards turn number 14. He's got a decent run. He's gaining a lot of time. As you can see now, Jake to the outside. It's going to be Danny through, along with Lucas Blakely, along with Jack West, who's going to look to get it through on multiple drivers to the outside. Jack West goes in with 3-1 in towards turn 14, and it'll be Danny Berejnay ahead of Jack West, ahead of Lucas Blakely, who still goes side by side through towards the exit of that chicane. And Lucas keeps himself ahead just for now. Jake Benham to the inside of Jack West as they head down in towards the final quarter to begin. Lap 13 of 25, and Jack, who had a decent run down to 14, has now lost so much time. We've got Thomas Ron Hart to the outside, tries to make 3 moves, nearly takes out the McLaren in towards turn 1. What a move from Thomas Ronhar, now into the top 8.
This race has not given up yet. Ronhar moves up to 8th, Benham now 9th, Jack West in 10th place, who really did go for the set, and the power of the slipstream on full display here at Vegas now as we see them peruse their way towards the next straight. This time it's Danny Berejnay though who leads for the Mercedes team, with Ronhar now chasing him down with Blakely in front of him as well. We have got a huge fight. Berejnay now within DRS of the man in P5 and his former Mercedes teammate as well, Brendan Lee, who sits in 5th. Remember the year that Brendan Lee won the title for the 2nd time, who was his teammate? It was the man in the Mercedes behind him. It was Danny Berejnay, and now Berejnay returning the serve to this time plant himself in a position to win a race.
As they head now down towards turn 14 again, DRS will be open. I'm keen on watching Duncan Hoffland. He's gaining in, he's got a 2-10 gap to Barry Boromand already. These soft, Barry's holding on with everything he can, but I think at one point there's nothing he can do to stop Duncan Hoffland. Down towards turn 14 they go, and Barry takes the lead, but Duncan's not gaining too much on the back of Nicholas Long getting towards the brake zone. He's stuck behind with Freddie Rasmussen as well. It seems Duncan hasn't got that much high speed on the car. The top end just isn't as much as a 2 Ferrari, so maybe a bit of disparity with the setups there.
Yeah, it could well be. Burman now leads though, but he's still got to come in, and yes he is. Burman now coming into the pit, so Duncan Hoffland takes P2 out on track, but remember, still needs to pit. I mean, you can only fathom now, Longe, Hoffland, Rasmussen and Brendan Lee, they're going to be adopting the soft tyres later on. They're going to be praying, I think, for a safety car when it rolls around here, Nathan.
Yeah, they've got to, otherwise this track just going to, I'm not going to say fail, but it won't be anywhere near optimal at all. At the moment, I think maybe those Williams could get to the end, because they can nurse them a bit more, can't they? Obviously, once those guys pit ahead, they've got a long road ahead. They can just chill behind and just nurse the tyres so they're not pushed too hard. As we can see them all file through, and we can see Berejnay looking to get himself ahead of Brendan Lee towards turn 7 they go, and just looking to find a way through. But with these chicanes on this very tight circuit, it's just a single file line through that complex of corners. Now down towards turn 10 they go. Berejnay using a bit of batch on the exit to get himself a decent run in towards this next corner, shape himself for a move down towards turn 14 possibly, depending on how that DRS and how that clip affects him in this next braking zone. Ronhar also looking to make moves. Brendan Lee has a bit of a twitch and he hits the wall. Berejnay are going to have a good run to the outside. To the inside, what does Berejnay start to do? He gets overtaken by Ronhar down towards turn 14. Ronhar now to the outside of his teammate Brendan Lee, the 2 Alphas, working brilliant here tonight. And who will make himself ahead? I think Duncan Hoffland takes the lead. Brilliant as now Freddie Rasmussen actually 6 behind. He lifts off completely in towards the brake zone, so he's not keen on making a move ahead of the Ferrari as they head down in towards his next braking zone. Berejnay being swallowed up by Ronhar. Also Lucas Blake looking for a bit of a send, had to back out. Lost them both time. Jake Benham up the inside of the McLaren down towards turn 1 they go, and now he's going to look to get himself ahead of his teammates as Nicholas Longe takes back the lead. Brendan Lee to second, as actually there's a few pit stops. Duncan Hoffland and Freddie Rasmussen into the pits, whereas Nicholas Longe and Brendan Lee on those 14 lap old hards still staying out. They've got to be going for soft, surely.
Yeah, they will be. They'll be going for, well, no, they've gone for mediums. So big question marks on whether they had enough soft tyres to use heading towards, or whether it was an issue or maybe an error in terms of selecting the tyres. I mean, you would have expected them to go for soft, seeing as that Dylan Warren has gone 10 laps on his soft tyres, and maybe hope and pray for a safety car. But this time around, it's Longe who's out in front, and he can as well go long, but obviously remember, in this case, he will need to box. The front 2 still yet to pit. Lee and Longe. Ronhar now in 3rd place, and technically your net leader. He's got Brendan Lee in front of him here now as they make their way through towards the next right-hander. They've got now another straight to come. One of the longest straights you'll see on this circuit. The longest straight on the circuit as well, with plenty of cars lining up for a potential victory. It's Mercedes versus Alfa Romeo, with Ronhar at the head of the field in terms of a net standpoint. Lee, though, and Longe, they've got to box the next lap, and as you'd expect, the teammate favours in show here, with Thomas Ronhar taking 2nd place on track away from his teammate Brendan Lee, and now he is on for the race win.
He's perfect there from the 2 Alfa Romeos. Just what ran down towards turn 14. Bit of a lock up there from Benham in towards that corner as well. His teammate Ross on his back as they head through out to that final chicane. And now Lucas Blakely also in the hunting zone, looking to get a move ahead of the 2 Mercedes. But you've got 2 Alphas, you've got 2 Mercedes working together. There's very little you can do as Nicholas Longe makes a pit stop. Brendan Lee still says that now is his strategy to try and hold up. Like Sir Ben and Bereshne, Blakely and Jack West, who are all doing a brilliant job so far. Soft for Nicholas Longe, so he's now decided to go to a set of soft tires to take those all the way to the end of this race. But now it's down towards turn 5 they go, and there's a 7/10 gap between Brendan Lee and Thomas Ronhaar heading to this next braking zone. And the two Mercedes working well together, but Wilson Hughes also looking to help his teammate. He's had a bit of a poor start, but he's got back into it, doing a good job. He's on the back of Jack West, should try and dispatch the Aston Martin as soon as possible if he can to try and help his teammates as Lucas Blakely taps the back of Bereshne towards turn 7.
Yep, they're coming together now. The problem they've got is that Brendan Lee is doing the teammate service here. He is going to back up the pack as much as possible, maybe allow Ronhaar to break DRS, because if he does, then he knows for a mere instant that obviously Ronhaar will have enough to take the race win, to take it home. He's basically providing a window of opportunity for Thomas Ronhaar here. So Brendan Lee doing the service for Alfa Romeo for a potential P1 visit, with Jake Benham sat now in 3rd place with Bereshne right in behind him. Mercedes might be in trouble. They might forfeit the race win here if Brendan Lee's plan comes off.
Yeah, Brendan Lee can see backing off in towards the chicane. He doesn't want to make a move there. He's going to stick behind his teammate, help Thomas Ronhaar out in this race. He's got 10 lap or Williams, so he will take them to the end. He's actually got better tyres than Bereshne and Jake Benham, but Jack West matching the tyre range there too. Thomas Ronhaar, so we'll see what tyre comes there in favour as they head down towards turn 1 yet again. Bereshne getting in on his teammate, but those four won't really be making moves on each other, because there's no point making a move on your teammate. You're working together, just stick behind and just do what is best, unless it's team orders down towards possibly into the ring zone after a long straight, as Dylan Warren gets a 5-second penalty after he went towards the pit lane off his 12-lap hold softs. He knows they can go that long, so I'm sure Nicholas Longe will be without any worries on his strategies. Duncan Hoffland takes the fastest lap. He's standing 14th behind the back of Freddie Rasmussen, who's got his teammate Josh Eder just ahead. At this point, was just teamwork being made all over this grid. Red Bull, Alfa Romeo, Mercedes, possibly even McLaren in these next few laps.
Yeah, Barry Burman also trying to move up here on Joni Tormala. He is right in behind the AlphaTauri, not choosing to make the move just yet. Of course, Barry opted in for those 3-lap old medium tyres earlier on, when of course he went longer on his strategy. And now he's got quite a big gap then to find after overtaking Tormala. It won't be enough just getting past here. We'll need to try and rein in the delta, which is going to be very tricky to do, as they now look to hurtle their way through the slalom this time around. Up at the front end as well, not a lot of change. Bereshne still in behind his teammate, as we now see them make their way out now down this long straight. This will be a great opportunity here for Barry Burman. Of course, in the Scuderia Ferrari, teammate with Longe this season, looks to open up the door this time on Tormala, as we see now again Lee going for the lead here. Barry Burman now indeed does hold on to that 9th place, and Prejnader also jumps past his teammate Joni Tormala as well, so a switch up between the two AlphaTauris. Up at the very top though, Ronhaar still in the lead of the race, with Brendan Lee, the barrier, in behind.
Yeah, and Lucas had a great run on the back of Danny, but decided not to make a move through. So really, realistically, those in the top 7 just aren't. They don't want to make a move. They want to stay behind to just, get rid of any risk of losing lap time to those ahead as they head down towards turn 5. Blakely's in a decent position, comes to the end of the race. He can try and make some moves through the field as they head down in towards this next braking zone. Blakely to the inside, has a bit of a dummy, sends it back to the outside, tries to make a bit of a pressure situation for Danny Bereshne as they head through, but not enough there to make the Mercedes wiggle as they head down in towards the turn 7 chicane. And we'll see if any moves will be made here. No, not at all. They're all just following each other through single file. Will Lewis as well doing a brilliant job in that P8 position, but Barry Burman is bringing that gap down quickly. It was 6 seconds last lap. It's now 5.1 as they head out of turn 1, so possibly Burman could be in the favour to possibly try and even win this race, because his tyres will be way better than those ahead once he gains in that gap 4.9 seconds. They've got 7 laps of racing left to go. Barry Burman can bring a half a second gap down and still be in a position to try and win. And
the one thing about Barry Burman's recent lap times, he is faster than Thomas Ronhaar, considerably, in fact. He did a 1:35.061 on his last lap, a 1:36.7 from Thomas Ronhaar earlier on. Bear in mind, of course, Barry Burman not having DRS at this stage. We see a massive fight heading through the chicane here. Jake Benham now moving up to 3rd as he tries to retain it against Danny Bereshne, who is trying to defend against Lucas Blakely. There's a massive cluster of cars now making their way through the final corner. Wheel to wheel they go. Now at the top, it's Ronhaar who leads now once again as Brendan Lee forfeits it for his teammate. leads. Jake Benham now holding on to third as Blakely fired a warning shot against Danny Berejnay.
Yes, and still Blakely couldn't find a way through. Is that
yellows?
Someone somewhere. I think it's still in Warren, isn't it? Then at the back of the field, a bit of a mistake with Shanaka Clay. One of the Hasses having a bit of a bad situation down that final chicane, but luckily no safety car. No one's really affected too much, and I think still Shanaka Clay stopped on circuit.
Yeah, I think so. Obviously, there's a lot of drama happening out on track right now. We'll certainly do our best to try and record it all for you, folks. I'm looking at Barry Burman's lap times. Honestly, that is something that I was trying to define for you earlier on. 1.2 seconds faster a lap than Thomas Ronha at this point. So, realistically, it should be in the next... he's already within DRS. So, Barry Burman with a great chance here. We've still got 6 laps left, and Burman is going to be rapid here. He's got a great chance, and he's right behind Prejnader, and he's in the train as well here, Nathan.
Yeah, as I head down towards turn 14, yet again, we'll see if any moves can be made. Barry keeping onto the back of Philip very well, but actually Philip's got some decent straight line speed as Jack West gets himself ahead of Lucas Blakely in towards turn 14. Brilliant there from the young Aston Martin driver in towards Blakely. When Lucas Blakely makes a set, nearly collecting the Mercedes. He has to jump over the rumble strips at the final chicane and nearly come into contact with Danny Berejnay, but luckily not being too affected as I head there. But now his teammate behind as that's yet again someone else making a mistake. Dylan Warren or Shanaka Clay stopped at turn 1 again. He's completely spun the car around. So not going well at all. There's all the cars coming through towards turn, all the leaders. So Shanaka Clay been lapped. I'm not quite sure what's going on there for the Haas driver. Yeah,
he's having problems, as is his teammate Dylan Warren. They've both had a really rough time here. Nicholas Longue, though, the opposite on his fresher soft tyres. He now makes his way through to 13th. I do feel, though, that Barry Burman might be leaving it a little too late. He has got to try and marginalise the gap between he and Will Lewis. That is going to be tough. And it's stagnant currently around 2.9 seconds. He is trying to rein it in. It is coming down by the odd 10th at a time. He could do this. In the next couple of laps, he could gain. Shanaka Clay retiring. Now, that's a safety car. Safety car. Brilliant news for Ferrari here, because Barry Burman is on the fresher tyres of anybody. And in 9th place, and bear in mind Nicholas Longue on softs. Wow. Okay. This is just kicked up now. Business is on. 5 laps of magic remaining, and we have safety car conditions here at Las Vegas.
Now, what do the top 2 do?
Well, Ronha's got to stay. He has got to stay on his tyres. He has no choice. The one thing he can say is that he's got fresher tyres than Brendan Lee and Jake Benham. The great news for Brendan Lee, if he pits now, he's built... Look at the gap between them. I'm not quite sure what's happened up at the front end. Obviously, Brendan Lee still hasn't pitted. There's 11.8 seconds between the top 2. Is Ronha going for a box here, do you think?
He could do. Because it's about, 10, 11 seconds under a safety car? So actually...
Yes, he is! He is!
In the lead.
Yes, he is! He's boxing now, so there we go! Thomas Ronha sped onwards. He's decided to opt. Now, this is a very different strategy here for Ronha. And he's obviously done that to try and avoid the double stack here. He's trying to enforce a pit stop for the rest of the Benham's out.
He hit Brendan Lee towards the pits and got bounced onto the wall.
Goodness me. The drama now. And Barry Burman leads the Grand Prix. Barry Burman leads here. Everyone else is boxed. They've responded to Ronha. And obviously at the same time, whilst Ronha has sped on, Brendan Lee has actually avoided the double stack. So he is actually... He's gained in some manner. This is an absolutely bizarre race, folks. I can tell you this now, that Ronha is still in the prime pole position seats right now. He's on fresh soft tyres with only a small matter of 4 laps to go here. P4, I'm telling you. And Jack West is on a great strategy right now.
He is perfect. He could also be coming to possibly try and take a podium. I've seen people in the chat talking about this is being manipulated.
This is genius. No, this is genius from Thomas Ronha. I'm telling you, we've never seen this before. That is a stroke of genius from Thomas Ronha. We've never once seen that in league racing in its history, in its entirety. And I tell you what, what a decision. I noticed the time gap was lengthening. I was like, what happened between Ps 1 and 2? Well, let me tell you, folks, it was all about Ronha making the moves, opting to box, managing to avoid any sort of double stack, and at the same time giving Alfa Romeo a chance to really jettison their way through the field.
Yeah, it was perfect, and he's now coming still, I think, by far the prime position. He's got 6 and 7 lap mediums ahead. He could probably get past 1 or 2 of them before the end of the first sector, because the softs have so much grip on them. Even though it's a low grip circuit, that's what's going to favour him even more. He can use more than the others can indeed through those first couple of corners, with them being quite low speed, and also turn 5 being very low as well. Obviously having to brake and being on those older tyres, you're going to really struggle towards that braking zone a lot more than likes of Ron R. But Jack West, Brendan Lee, Danny Brochet in very good positions to try and do a good job in this race. But Nicholas Longe, he's not in the worst position. He's got 5 pole off, so he will be quicker than, I think, probably the top 3. He'll be quicker than Torben Edu and Luke Smith, so he could also have a bit of a buffer to those behind because of Johnny, Josh and Luke. So maybe we could also see Nico come home with possibly a podium. We know he can defend well. We know, many times he's always good at, good at defence. So I think Nicholas Longe could also be in a position to try and take a podium. But at this point, unless Ron Hart makes a mistake or gets caught up in an incident, I can't see him losing this race at all. He's just in. It's just perfect. It's like Max in 2021. Once he had those softs and then losing those hard.
Yeah, it is. Hey, listen. Let's not state the obvious. It's not a Dutch thing. It's not a Dutch thing. Hey, listen. At the end of the day, remember, folks, this is a charity race, so let's keep it chilled. Obviously, I mean, it's been a frantic race, a fantastic race to watch. In terms of the battles that have appeared on track, great chance here though for Barry Burman, despite obviously. Soft tyres being put on Thomas Ronhart's car. It's still up to Ronhart to make the passes, and I can tell you this now: Duncan Offland isn't going to make it easy. Let's talk about the history that has existed between Freddie Rasmussen and Ronhart. We go back to Mexico at F1 Esports last season, where things got a little spicy, folks. And now, once again, Ronhart's got to try and get past Freddie Rasmussen. It's going to be tough, obviously. And now, at the same time, you've got Burman up at the top, who, remember, took the PSGL title away from Thomas Ronhart on the final round. Unreal. And we've got this complexion now heading in towards the final stages of this race. Lap 22 of 25. The stories are endless. Burman leads, Rasmussen in second, Hofland in third, Ronhart now in fourth on the freshest compound of them all in the top 5, with Longe also on softs. But Longe, as well as Tormela, Edo and Luke Smith, they're going to be in jeopardy. Jack West with a huge chance here to grab a sensational result here tonight.
Yeah, I know exactly the SRT team, Louis Welch, Jack West himself, Luke Humphries will be very happy to see Jack West try and work his road through the field and get himself onto the podium, with the safety car is in this lap. So it'll be Burman that leads him away down towards turn number 1. And now this is where the carnage unfolds. What can the Ferrari pair do to work as a team?
Well, let us know, folks, who your selections are in terms of who's going to win this race. Let us know. Flood that live chat now as Barry Burman is going to take them round. He is effectively the safety car. And once again, we await them to put their foot down. One more corner remains on this very lap. And we'll begin lap 23. Only a mere matter of 3 laps to remain, or 2 if you include the next one. Here we go, pedal to the metal for the 3rd time in this race now. And Thomas Ronhart now immediately looking to pounce on the softs. He caught Duncan Offland napping. And with the extra grip on the fresh compound of tyres, he's in a podium place here, Nathan.
Yep, they head down towards turn 5, and that's someone out of his. That's Brendan Lee round
Lee
at the back of the field. But Thomas Ronhart making a move for the lead in towards turn 5. Thomas Ronhart takes the lead of the race. Brilliant there from the Alfa Romeo driver, made everything work on that opening lap of the restart. He puts himself ahead of Barry Burman. Now he needs to break that 1 second gap that will have DRS on the last lap of the race. So we need to get that 1 second gap ASAP ahead of Barry, and then all the carnage behind will unfold. Nicholas Longe looking to get in on the back of Duncan Hovland. But Jack West has got a good run on the back of the Rebel of Josh Eder as well, down towards turn 12. So we'll see if Jack West can make a move for that 7th position. They're heading towards the braking zone, not close enough just yet. But this is going to be carnage down towards turn 14. Jack West in prime position to make some moves.
Yeah, well, he's lost his front wing. He's got no front wing. So at this point, Jack West in trouble. Now, this is going to be a problem. He's still going for the move here on Edo. So he somehow managed to find the grip, but there is apparently no front wing on that Aston Martin. Still moves up into 7th place, though, and is now closing up on Jori Tormela. So there we go. Jack West up into 7th place ahead of Edo, and is now looking to try and gain here for P6. Is he now? Well, we ride on board with him. I can't see any front wing on that car, but somehow he's finding the grip here.
Yeah, somehow, well, I don't know how he's doing it, but he's doing a brilliant job as that's also Danny Brochet ahead of Josh Hind, who's back to the front we go. Barry Brunner, trying to defend from Freddie Rasmussen in towards the ring zone. Duncan Hoffland taps the back of Freddie towards turn 1. Luke Smith with a 5-second penalty spin in the pits. He's out of this race on lap 24 of 25, but we begin the penultimate lap. Ron Hart's got a 1.7-second gap to Barry Burman. Now, the battle will be for P2, 3 and 4. At this point, maybe these medium runners will get it because Jack West isn't gaining much because all those behind can't get through because Jack West has got no front wing. Danny Brochet looking for a move but just can't get ahead of the Aston Martin as they head down towards this next chicane. Danny, can he go to the inside? He will try and tuck it to the inside, but as Jack tries to defend it, can't defend the same, which is breaking as they have a bit of a tap through, and Brochet has another slide through, and well, that's Lucas Blakely through to 7.
It is. Lucas Blakely managing to certainly gain off the back of Jack West losing it, and I hate to say it, but it does look like the damage has affected the front wing. Well, the front wing damage has affected Jack West here and his car. He's continuing regardless, but he's losing place after place, and now he's at the mercy this time around of Philip Presnader. As we take a look further up as well, Duncan Hoffland having a great race as well. He is hot on the tail this time of Freddie Rasmussen. 1.5 tenths of a second back. It looks like he might yet make another move. In fact, we could see 2 moves being made here. Barry Burman in second. Here comes Rasmussen, who's going to look to try and take P2 away from the Ferrari, the Red Bull. Lurching forward here, heading through the chicane. Enter Duncan Hoffland as well as they venture through towards the next straight, which will tee up a run heading through the final corner, and they'll begin the next lap, which will be the final lap. Ron Hart leads, and he's just taken the fastest lap.
Yeah, 4.7 seconds now to the leaders. We can see them all backing up. No one wants to make a move. They all want DRS. Then towards turn 5, Duncan Hoffland making a move. That's all around as well. And Longay's running. Longay's pretty much at the back of the field now, along with Brendan Lee. So some contact must have happened to him there as they all now file down towards turn number 5. Presnader looking to make a move ahead of Lucas Blakely to bob himself into 5th. And also we can see Hoffland getting in on the back of Barry Burman. Can he make a move? No, he can't. Then we got it's going to be Danny Presnader getting in. We've got Hoffland side by side with Philip Presnader down towards turn 7. Philip's going to try and make a move around the outside. Can he make it work? He's going to stick it round. It gives him the inside at turn 8 at the chicane. And who will be heading towards turn 9? I think it will be Presnader, but no. Looking back to the inside, Lucas Blakely could right there. Into the wall.
No!
Blakely to the wall!
Blakely is spun, he has lost his front wing, damage afoot, the McLaren is down, and now further up, it is going to be Barry Burman who occupies third with Berejnay now a second back after all the chaos that has been afflicted. Duncan Hoffland has lost out majorly as they now make their way down the back straight once again, the longest straight on the circuit for the final time. Hoffland now looking to tee up a run, heading down into the final chicane, but no one's going to touch this man, Thomas Ronhaar, who makes his way into that chicane now. Hoffland moves up ahead of Presnader in great style and also takes a piece of Danny Berejnay heading through to the next left and right. They come together. Hoffland's now gone wide. No, massive crash, massive impact, but Thomas Ronhaar wins the charity race here, the All-Star event here on PSGL, and it's Thomas Ronhaar, the Dutchman, Dutch delight here at Vegas.
Brilliant work as we can see Barry Kamami second and Freddie Rasmussen only less than a tenth back to the Ferrari. So brilliant scenes at the end of this race. And listen, I don't like to say if a race has been my favourite, but this has got to be one of the best races I've ever commentated on. Regardless of things that happen, it's a shout race, it's more fun. Not many drivers are taking this seriously. I saw a comment in the chat earlier from Badgerman saying that a lot of them are in a VC together, so they're all having a bit of fun.
They're all having a bit of laugh. Yeah, they're all having a bit of fun.
It was amazing.
Yeah, it's an exhibition,
from
folks.
The commentary box.
Yeah, exhibition.
The commentary box in the chat.
Yeah,
amazing.
Pure exhibition, everybody. And let me just say, fabulous race. Obviously, there was some drama around the whole Brendan Lee scenario. We did hear that Brendan Lee, in fact, apparently backed everyone up. I thought that perhaps it was Thomas Ronhaar breaching the Delta and just speeding towards the pit lane so that he could, in fact, make the change, obviously, to help Brendan Lee out. But that wasn't the case. But no, incredible race, everybody. Incredible. Loved every moment of it. And I hope you did too. There was carnage. Obviously, if this was a league race, if there were rules applied here in this scenario, then obviously we would be talking about stewards' decisions. But hey, listen, at this point, it's obviously, it is what it is right now. We will be taking a look though at the standings. Fair play. I know that Big C wants to record them because obviously we've got a championship afoot here. We will find out who the winner is. This, of course, being the podium celebrations. Ronhaar is your victor and has done so brilliantly here at Vegas. So, you know, credit to everyone out there tonight. Barry Burman with a great drive as well. And did a stellar job, as well as Freddie Rasmussen, who in fact started 9th place. But Ronha from 14th to finishing P1. What a performance. Barry Burman as well finishing 2nd. Philip Prejnader in 3rd with Freddie Rasmussen 4th. Danny Berejne 5th with Ismail Fassi down in 6th. Jack West in 7th. Lucas Blakely in 8th. Will Lewis 9th. Duncan Offlin in 10th with Nicholas Longay 11th. Further down, Hughes as well as Benham, Warren. Further down then, we do of course have Josh Edo, Brendan Lee, Yoni Tormler, Luke Smith, Shanaka Clay and Ruben Pedreño, though we did lose 6 cars in that fray as well towards the very end. So dramatic scenes here at Vegas, folks. It was a pleasure to watch. I mean, I don't know what you make of it, Nathan. Can you summarise for us, at least in the meantime?
Summarise it. It was chaotic, entertaining, and just overall, it was a spectacular race to watch. It's Vegas. It needs to be entertaining. It needs to be great, and I think it delivered. In normal league race, half the stuff that happened probably wouldn't have happened. But here, it was fun. The drivers are having a laugh. It's our last race before Christmas, before the end of 2023. I think, you know, we topped the year off perfectly. I think we've had no better way that we could have ended this year. And I think, well, if it wasn't Las Vegas, it wouldn't have been any more near entertaining, because this track, no matter what the scenario, delivers. Yeah,
no, it was tremendous. I mean, what a way to end. Near enough end the year. I mean, I think that's sensational. You know, credit to all the drivers involved as well. That race was about passion for the game. I think at that point, quite rightly too, because obviously when you come down to the end of the year, obviously it's more about enjoyment, and rarely do these drivers get a chance to enjoy themselves because everything is centered around competition. So this is a great opportunity for them to kind of hang loose, have some fun, and at the same time enjoy some great racing, which we certainly did, and we get to enjoy it as commentators, even though we have to be in front of the camera for you guys. But we love that too. We love to entertain you guys at home too. So, let us know. Did you enjoy that race? Keep us posted. Big thank you as well to the likes of Cameron's dad. Of course, if any of you want to know who Cameron's dad is, that's Cameron Dowds' father. He, of course, also celebrating because Cameron Dowds won in PlayStation F1 the other day at Singapore, which we were raving about on the League Racing Report only a small matter of days ago. Big thank you, every single one of you as well. Really do appreciate it. Remember as well, this is a charity event. If you want to contribute to Mind Charity, you can. There are links available there in the live chat. I know Jess Games is working hard, and she will provide the links as well. And there is one pinned as well to this chat too that you can get involved with. Now, I sure is shocked look on your face, Nathan. What's the update?
We've had a €500 donation.
No.
From David.
David
slash good. Oh, we're not going to read the last message, but David gives us a €500 donation. It was £250 earlier. I looked back, I saw 678. I was like, what? Looked down, but amazing. It's absolutely amazing, isn't it?
Guys, thank you all so much. It's all going to a good cause, so thank you so much to David. Really appreciate that. €500 from David alone, yeah? Thank you, David, and Merry Christmas to you, David. Really appreciate that. That's incredible. Jess Games actually say, is that CRL Rosberg that donated? That's a name I've not heard in a while. That's a great from AOR, am I right? I'm pretty sure I heard from back in the day. Wow, incredible. If you haven't done so already, guys, please make sure you hammer the link that Jess Games has provided in the live chat. Incredible. Please make sure you land your donations into that. And like I said, goes to a worthy cause. That everyone needs a little bit of help, especially around this time of year, around Christmas. It's not easy for all families, not all people, and a donation could make a huge difference to someone's life. So please do help a good cause. But yes, looking ahead, obviously it all comes down to this now, doesn't it? Championship. In terms of this, Ron Haas taking home the big points and the fastest lap after that run on the softs. So very, very smart moves there from Thomas Ronha. 26 points he walks away with after that last race. So absolutely fantastic. My guess, I think, does that make him champion?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, I'm trying to recall.
Second was, I think it was Barry on 23 with Philip on 16.
Yeah, because Lucas Blakely and as well the man in 15th, Ismail Fassi, obviously didn't score, so obviously they're not going to benefit off everything. I'm looking further down as well. There was obviously Barry Burman, who finished 4th in that previous race. He had 5 points. I believe, according to my calculations, the winner is going to be Thomas Ronha, in accordance to my figures. I might be wrong. I'll await clarification off everybody, but I'm pretty sure it's a Ronha victory.
Yeah, and at this point, can anything start Thomas Ronhar? E-Series, domination. Esports at Bahrain, domination here. Yet again, pretty much domination with a bit more teamwork involved still. Just nothing can stop this man. After coming out of last game, allegations put to bed, he's just been flying more than he did before. I think he's got that whole pressure just lifted off his shoulders, and then he can push. He knows he hasn't got people constantly watching his back. He can go for it, and honestly, I've only been here since.
I'd argue that the
the
accusations have
best
made him
team.
stronger, Nathan. I think they've all done him a favour here because he has come out and he has responded in the most positive way possible.
Yeah.
Ciara Rosberg, yes, it was me that donated. Thank you, Rosberg, for the donation. Much appreciated. Great to see you in the League Racing fold as well, my friend. I remember watching you years ago. Fabulous to see. Of course, very tight-knit community in sim racing, and wonderful to see some old faces as well from years gone by. But yeah, I mean, obviously, we look at that Ronhar performance, and you know, it just goes to show he is the real deal. He can do it inland, he can do it online. I'm actually, you know, you wouldn't be wrong in penning him down as a favourite for the title this year.
Oh, definitely not. Listen, if there was bets involved, I would have already betted for it now because, you know, to win in, I think it was 5.5 seconds he won against Jan Otmir. To win against Jan Otmir, to be that far ahead, that is something. To win against Lucas Blakely, the likes of Nicholas Longo as well, Brendan Lee, former champion, to be able to beat your teammate by such a margin. It just shows, you know, some of the best natural talent I think we've seen in a long time. Ronhar coming from Xbox. No one knew really who he was when he was on the Xbox platform. Came over to PC, and everyone's like, who is this guy? Why is he so quick? And then all of a sudden, he's just got himself right to the top, come to PC, become instantly one of the top 3 drivers on the F1 22 game. On this game, I'd say, we can comfortably say Thomas Ronhar is the best driver.
Yeah.
I think no matter what, in any situation, he always comes out on top, or at least near to the top. I would go as far as saying possibly this year he will easily win the title.
Yeah, incredible. Absolutely massive to see, obviously, these donations being ushered in. We have got Barry Burman in the waiting room as well, so we're going to pull him in for a little chat. Barry, great to have you with us, my friend, off the back of a stellar race. I was actually a bit concerned about you because, obviously, you weren't necessarily on the best strategy at the very end, but you managed to make the medium tyres work.
Yeah, hello. It's been a while.
It has. Good to see you, my man.
yeah.
It seems
same,
a while. It seems a while since Sweden. I will say that.
No, but I mean in general, like in doing interviewing, like PSGL. I mean.
Oh, that too.
Way.
Yes. Good to have you back.
Yeah. Thank you. Same here. But yeah, the race was interesting. I mean, we all just took it fun. You know, after so many like serious races, we had a really fun race. And then, yeah, I mean, every time, like, even in the first stint, I think it was just going well. Like, you know, top 3 in Vegas is just the same as P1 because you would just overtake on the main straight with DRS every lap because it's just too powerful. And then, yeah, again, the safety car. And then I just didn't want to put hard. I don't know, like, I was like, I don't know, even if it's faster, I was like, I don't want to try hard in this track from lap 5 because, yeah, you know. And yeah, I mean, second stint was going well. I think all the medium runners was kind of helping each other to reach the train, and then there was another safety car, and then I still didn't want to pit because at that moment I had to do something opposite of everyone, and I saw like everyone pitted in front of me, so I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna continue. And then apparently Brendan did some cheeky slow down. So yeah.
we all saw that. Apparently everyone was laughing in the chat. Can we confirm? Was that the case?
I think it was, wasn't it? Surely.
Were you laughing, Barry, or were you swearing under your breath?
No. No, I wasn't swearing, but when I got told, I was like, why? Because I saw Thomas like P4 with like fresh soft. And yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it was a fun race, and yeah, I had a fun, and GG's to Thomas as well, and yeah, hopefully everyone enjoyed that.
Yeah, no, it was honestly, it was a tremendous race to watch, and you were right in the thick of it. Just talk to us about one-shot qualifying, because obviously it's very different to what you tend to get in obviously the official F1 Sim Racing Championship and also in PSGL as well, because we generally run a full qualifying system. So how difficult is it to lay out your best lap over one single lap?
To be honest, the funniest thing is when we switched to the the like setups in the game, the default setup or the preset. Then the brake bias like brake bias are super high, and then you get the car like 200 meters left to do turn 1, and then when I saw it I was like, oh my god, I just went to brake bias and go down. I didn't even see the number, I just went down. And yeah, the car actually feels not really amazing to drive, but I mean, I don't know, like I didn't really take it super serious or anything. It was just fun. I just wanted to be top 10 so I can work from that, and it's been more fun to just gain the places in Vegas, because you know Vegas there's just a track. Actually, I'm saying this like actually like top 5, top 6, even top 7, it might be the same as like starting on pole.
Yeah.
As weird as it sounds, like in Vegas it just look like just like this. And then I knew we have a sprint race as well, so I was like, yeah, it doesn't really matter. And then after sector 1 I saw I'm like P17 or P16 or somewhere. I was like, oh, not really ideal. And then yeah,
I mean, when it comes down to strategy around a track like Vegas, Barry, I mean, is there a strategy you can follow, or is it just basically all about the racing itself?
I think, I don't know, like I think there is nothing for strategy. There's all about being in the right time, in the right moment. It's just all about that, I think. Nothing more, nothing less, I think.
Yeah, okay. Well, looking ahead as well, obviously we're still a little unsure as to what the future's going to be in terms of, you know, certainly what you'll be competing in, but also with PSGL as well. What are the plans? What are you? What is the mission? Of course, we got Christmas now, but what's the plan after Christmas?
To be honest, I'm just practicing winning Christmas in general, and I don't know, just any competition I can race, I will be there.
Top man. Well, what are you doing for Christmas anyway? I want to know what's a typical Barry Burman Christmas?
Nothing really. Like this year, I can confirm I'm just gonna, because I have been to Maranello for the past like in 1.5 months. I was living there, and then when I came back home, like my family came to me as well. So I just wanna chill a little bit, not doing 7 hours practice per day, just chilling a bit, spending time with them, and yeah, that's it.
Well, Barry, I wish you a very Merry Christmas. Thank you for a tremendous drive as well tonight. It's been entertaining. We wish you all the very best, and hopefully, I'm hoping we'll see you in the new year. Maybe we'll get another league season going.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm really looking forward to it, and Happy New Year, everyone.
Yeah, thank you very much, Barry.
And Happy Christmas. Sorry, it's not my culture, like, but it's Happy Christmas. My bad.
Oh no, that's very very kind of you. Thank you so much, Barry, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the new year, my man.
Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. That's Barry, everybody. Of course, such a superstar in the world of esports, sim racing, you name it. Absolutely mega human being. And again, displaying that again. But he, of course, not happy, you know, with the whole Brendan Lee scenario, of course, with back in, even in a charity event. He doesn't want to see stuff like that.
No, well, I suppose none of them do in a way, do they? You know,
No.
they still want to win, and if he's gonna get it robbed out of a win in a way, he's of course gonna be a little bit angry. Not as much as if it was an actual league race or an esports race, but you know, it's one of those natural reactions. But I think either way, for the viewers and for us, George, I think it made a very entertaining race. Long for Ronha as well. I think it made that very great. For others, might not be so much, but I think everyone else definitely had an uplift in mental health in the race, because it was just it was just a spectacle. What's the word? Spectacle. There we are, to watch. It was brilliant, and yeah, like I said before, I don't think we could have found any better way to end off 2023. Also with the charity in mind, being the charity we're working for, it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. Yeah,
make sure everyone donates, by the way. The links are there in the chat, of course. We are currently, as I see it, 67% away from our £1,000 target. We're currently sat on 678, so please start donating and give to a great cause and support Mind, and it really would be appreciated. I mean, Nathan, we've just witnessed a grandiose race now. Surely after that we have got to have another season of PCF1, have we not?
Yeah, surely. We need Connor to start getting, after Christmas, get everything sorted out, get us back into league racing, because we've shown it again. what it can be, what league racing can mean. Obviously, we've had some issues with esports. It's made it a bit, down for many people. But league racing, whenever comes back onto top, and it can show that, without esports, it can still be brilliant to watch. The drivers all can enjoy it. We can enjoy it. The viewers can enjoy it. Everyone can enjoy the league racing scene. So hopefully next year, Connor can look at maybe getting a new season started. The drivers, I think most of them are going to be up for it. They always love a season of PSGL. Everyone loves a season of PSGL. So Connor, you need to get yourself ready for next year, because I think we all want a new season. Everyone wants a new season of PCF1.
Yeah, we've definitely whetted the appetite, folks. I mean, we're going to keep this link open surely until we hit 1,000, right? So it's got to be the case. I saw, obviously, Victoria's question. I've actually just forwarded a donation myself as well through to it. So make sure you all get involved and make sure that you carry on. Jess has confirmed that we are going to keep the link open. So there we go, folks. Make sure you get involved. And you can get involved even more so by obviously subscribing and liking this broadcast. Make sure you subscribe to the PSGL YouTube channel, as well as checking them out on social media at Premier SimGL on Twitter and Instagram. And I believe also they're on TikTok nowadays too. You can also check me out as well, George Morgan, at George Morgan TV on Twitter, Instagram, and I suppose they call it X as well, don't they? X, Instagram, as well as Threads. And you can also find me on TikTok as well. I do need to start posting on there, I think, a little more often. But also, Nathan, where can they find you, sir?
Well, you can find me on Twitter, RichieF1 with the I's, replaces with ones, and then you can find me on TikTok. I think it's Nathan Richards 1, Instagram Nathan Richards 33. It's not the same everywhere because I was too late. Everyone already took my name. So yes, with different numbers at the end, you can find me with the name Nathan Richards on social media pretty much everywhere, apart from, is it Telegram? I've never used that before. No, everywhere else you can find me apart from that. Well,
there we go, folks. That's the end of another spectacular broadcast. Great to be back here on PSGL after quite a lengthy layoff and a grand cause as well. Remember, you can keep giving as well to the Mind charity. Please donate your donation towards them, help someone out as well as we continue the war against mental health problems, and in hope of perhaps allowing people another chance at a better life. And it really would mean a lot to many, I can imagine, at Christmas time. Obviously, plenty more to come. Obviously, given we've got Ironman League, I think, coming up next as well, so there's lots happening, I think, prior to the end of the year. So a little bit of league racing to wet your whistle before 2024 gets back underway. Nonetheless, we will be taking a little break, as are you, I'm sure, over Christmas, and we do here, everyone at PSGL, wish you the very best over the Christmas holidays, and we'll be back in the new year for more action, I am sure, near enough, as we're now concluding another fantastic year. I've enjoyed it. Nathan, it's been a privilege. Folks at home, like I said, check out the socials, check out the channel. Please leave a subscribe and a like. We'll see you next year in 2024. Take care. Goodbye.
He's got the inside off here, he's through on the left hand side, hooks the apex, gets on the power nicely, and that is job done. Jarno Opmeer now to the last couple of corners now, his finest drive, his greatest drive, and he's done it at the Circuit of the Americas. He returns to the top step of the podium once again. The GOAT is back. Jarno Opmeer wins the US Grand Prix in a stunning Grand Prix.